Let's see what we got going on here. Pull this thing over. Oh yeah, YouTube chat always ends up being weird, so give me a second. Nope. YouTube. Alright, see how that looks. That looks pretty good, I think. Alright, so what are we working on right now? Oh, you know what, I need to probably make that just a little bit smaller. Nope, undo that. I might not be able to put this one up. It might be in the way. Yeah, that's probably better. Okay. We'll just leave that so you guys won't have the YouTube chat, but we'll have all the other chats on there. So what are we working on today? For anybody that wants to hang out and do some Linux or other things, I'm going to be over here co-working and just kind of doing other stuff, listening to some music. And you guys are welcome to hang out if you want. Also, I'll probably pop it up later where we're working on the system. We're going to do the systems administrator course later, so I'm going to be working on that a little bit. You guys might see that pop up, and that's kind of what I'm doing for today. So, if anybody's got anything that they're working on or want to talk about, feel free to hit me up. Otherwise, I'm just kind of hanging out here. Just kind of hanging out, checking stuff out, getting my labs a little more finished. System set up more. Software, checking out Prometheus primer, checking out alerting, cluster logging, Kubernetes, SA log, daily health check. I need to fix that daily health check before I show it to anybody, so that's a problem. Alright, into day 2. Day 2 is going to be talking about werewolf stuff. So, werewolf system overview. So, this is where we're at. So, is that working? Hold on, I need to... There we go. That's a little better. Sorry guys, I don't think I'd fixed it for you guys. I'd only fixed it on my view. So, that's better. I think that looks a little more, you guys can at least see the text-to-speech now, so it's good. Need to decide if I need to make one more lab too, though. Yeah, I need at least one more lab in day one, which is it'll be lab 1.11, and it will be system. Let's see, what are we doing here? We'll call it the heck is this? It's the repositories, cluster, software, repo, checkout. So we've got software repos, which is sometimes useful to know where your software repos are. Well, actually, it's always useful to know if you're maintaining them locally. So we're doing that. Make sure nothing else is going on over here. Okay. All right. Yeah, you guys let me know if you need anything. I can pop up over here and show you guys anything on these screens if you need any kind of Linux or Ansible checkout. If you guys got any questions about the course that we're running or how to get down into our Discord, any of that stuff, just let me know. But again, as normal, we're not working too hard here, so we're just kind of hanging out. That's what we're doing here. Setting that, and should be good. All right. So, yeah, I'm just over here checking out my systems and verifying my my repos are running. So, repos are we gotta reset this. Check that HTTP is running, and then check that port 443 is listening. That is always going to be a SS-NTULP, and then grep for 443. That is a way to do it. It's not the only way to do it. I'm going to format these guys to have the proper formatting. S-Blades, yeah. Progress Quest is a game from about 22 years ago that I just find amusing. It just sits there and plays itself, and yeah, nobody's doing anything with that game. It's just sitting there. I started it yesterday. My guy's up to level 30. You can't lose. You just basically watch the game progress. And one of my favorite things about it was when it first came out, there people complained and they're like, we need a 3D mode. So they put in a 3D mode where you push a little button, and right around the edges of the window, you would get a little shader, and that was 3D mode. So I always thought that was hilarious. But yeah, the game's 22 years old. It was recently redone, I think about 5 years ago. And yeah, you just watch it play. We're up in Act 2. Yeah, we're up actually in Act 3 now. Yeah, it's like the silliest little thing, but you know, your guy just he just continues to progress incrementally. And then when we get to full encumbrance, which we're about to do here in a second, we're going to go back to town, sell all the stuff, and buy better gear. So you're going to see it in about one more iteration of this, and then you'll see me sell all the stuff off. Yep, so now it's heading off to market to sell loot. And then you sell loot pretty quick, and you get a bunch of gold. The yellow is where things are happening on the screen. And the experience isn't going up anymore. The plot development's not going up. The quest isn't going up. But as soon as we get done selling off the gear, then we'll be able to buy better stuff. Hey, how's it going, Curdy Killer? I'm just hanging out. I'm working on stuff. Not working too hard. You know, that's our motto around here on Co-working Day. But I am getting stuff set up for my system. So etsy yum.repos.d, and then more check the repo settings. That'll be a cd to etsy yum.repos.d, and then more on like local Rocky. And that should show us that they are hard coded. Now, hard coding repos is not necessarily a great idea when you're doing highly available things. So, just busy with my new job now at a point where I can work and play. Nice, Critter Killer. What type of work are you doing, if you don't mind me asking? I mean, you don't have to like out yourself or nothing, or dox yourself online or nothing, but what type of work are you doing? And if it's in tech, that's awesome. If it's not in tech, that's still good. I mean, having work is better than not having work, but yeah, let me know. I'm gonna grab some water real quick. Give me a second, guys. I don't have to go too far for water because I have a fridge upstairs here, but I had to walk over and grab it. Yeah, I'll be trying to do some more normal streaming after I get done with this. Like, I'm doing a lot, like, you might have noticed, guys, that I've been doing a lot of these co-working streams, but it's not that I want this to be my normal way of doing things. It's just I have had a massive amount of additional work to do to get done ready for this training that I'm giving. So for a company that sets up Wi-Fi networks in RV parks, so I do work with command line. Nice. Oh yeah, you were using the Ash shell. Yeah, somebody mentioned that in Discord. It was probably you. How do you like Ash? I haven't used that shell myself. You'll find as you go that there's so many technologies that some of us have never touched. That's awesome though. Yeah. And one of the things, you know, people will be like, oh, that's not as good as something else. And it's like, you know what, man? Like, I'm just going to do whatever the company pays me to do. So, like I tell people all the time, I mean, you know, if you're not breaking the law, what, you know, I'm gonna do whatever a company tells me to, you know. And as long as they're paying me what they're paying me, I mean, they can make me be the janitor, I guess, if they want to spend that kind of money for janitor work. Like, I'm gonna do it as long as it's not illegal and they're paying me, you know. So, let's see. Check the. Now I'm gonna say check the repos. Repos on a node. And we're gonna SSH over to one of our nodes, and then I'm just gonna say here on this one, do you guys see anything important about this? Let's see. So, Cooler uses Ash Shell. You had to Google because you'd never used Ash Shell. Yeah, Kurt, I had never seen Ash Shell before you mentioned it. That's one of the things, man. Like, I had a buddy that he's a programmer. He's came and talked to us a few times for the Linux group, but he's a programmer, and he used to have this thing that he'd leave out on his desk. It was actually right outside of his cube, and if anybody came up, it talked about it said a programmer can program in, and then it showed like 100 different programming languages, and then the last line was specialization is for insects. And I've heard that, that thing like a few times before in other contexts. Specialization is for insects, but he he was really like his goal or his point is like, if you know how to engineer and if you're a systems person and you know programming, it doesn't matter what the tool is. You know, it doesn't matter what you know, if you understand how to go through your functions and how to do the logic of coding, you can apply that to any syntax, was his point. Yeah, Kurt, I imagine that's 100% true. Yeah, like most of us will reference the difference. And I didn't say Curtis. I don't know. You guys know that system will try to make me look like an idiot every chance it gets our little closed captioning there. But yeah, we're not working too hard here. We're just kind of hanging out. Which node to use? So check that that's running. Check that the port's listening. And then differences. Yeah, yeah. I might check it out. Man, anything I could do. It's funny. Like I feel like more and more adult as I find like, you know, the longer I go, I'm like, man, I probably could check that out like out in November sometime. Like I'm looking at my calendar right now and just going like, I don't even have time to read a couple of things on the internet right now. And you might say, what about this co-working stuff you're doing? Yeah, but I'm actually focused on this other stuff. It keeps me pretty focused to talk to you guys and kind of work on a different screen. So I would like to check it out. I could probably install it on some of my boxes as a separate shell, but I just, man, super busy. And again, super busy complaining while I'm online, but I am actually doing something while I'm talking to you guys and hanging out. So I'm getting, in fact, I almost have a whole lab done while I'm sitting here talking to you guys. So in the context of Ansible, I might have missed what was going on. Yeah. Oops. So do that. Make sure I'm not missing anything here. Yeah, we should be good. Throw that on there. Do all the Linux. All right. So I am almost done with day 1 of all my labs. So then I got to get into day 2 and 3. Maybe some of those will even bleed into day 4. And I will go ahead and post this. You guys are welcome to come hang out in Discord. Let me go throw it on the YouTube side of things. Hey, thanks for that, Kurt Killer. Hopefully this stuff's useful to you. I'm surprised it didn't do the little cheer thing, because sometimes it'll say that. I think my alerts are broken, but yeah, I appreciate that. Keeps me motivated. Keeps, I'm sure the guys who come and hang out stay motivated. Yeah, I did something. It's fun. I do appreciate that. You guys are always welcome to hang out, and let me find, I gotta find this window. I got like 12 windows everywhere. I want to go find the apparently I don't have that, so I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this down in here. This will link back to you guys on Twitch again, but that's fine, it's not that big of a deal. And then also the guys on YouTube will get to see it too, so that's kind of cool. So guys, we got Discord. You guys are welcome to hang out down there. It's free. We're never going to charge anything down there. We've got a Linux Systems Administration course that's free. Plus everything you guys have ever seen me talk about or like show on stream is down there. So I tell you guys, like, if you want to go in there and join like a little cartoon villain, throw everything in your sack and then run away, I don't, like, it's not going to hurt my feelings, you know. Yeah, Next Headroom, thanks for the follow. Yeah, man, I played Progress Quest like 20 years ago, and then I went and looked it up the other day, and I was like, I'll throw that up there. That'd be kind of fun. It's Progress Quest is 22 years old from what I was reading, so I just was like, I'll throw it up there on the side, and we'll just hang out and talk. Normally, I'm doing a lot more on stream. Normally, you guys have a lot more kind of access to what I'm doing, but since I'm working for a customer, to my company, like it's one of the contracts that we run, I am co-working on a different screen, so you guys can't see that, unfortunately. But if you guys have any questions about anything or want to talk about like the course that we're running, any of that stuff, let me know and I'll work through that with you guys. I need to go and look at our Werewolf system overview now. Okay. And I gotta put up the labs for this, so where's our Werewolf running out of? How does Werewolf work? So Werewolf system overview. I think I might have to switch two labs around that I have, because it seems like determining the head node would be more important in the lab. Yeah. So, how do we determine the head node? Determine Yep, so we're not working too hard today, guys. Just kind of hanging out, working through a little bit of stuff. I'll be getting ready for the ProLug group here a little later. We have a meeting in about, when will that be? That'll be about 7 hours or so. So I plan on working on this stuff for a few hours here, and then I'm going to jump over, and the building out of the lab stuff for today I'll be able to show you guys, because that's not going to be, you know, proprietary stuff for a customer. Yeah. Well, you guys are welcome to hang out for as much or as little of it as you kind of want. You guys are always kind of welcome. So we're going to check that Werewolf is running for you guys the way that we do that over here. Where's that other? Where'd it go? For this. How do we know that Werewolf is running? So it's a Werewolf D service. We'll see that it's running in our system. And then if we need to know what services it's running, then we would go and, so how would I check that Werewolf D is running? I would say system CTL status Werewolf D. And then I'm going to say, does this start on startup? Why do you think that is? System CTL status Werewolf D. Hey there, second time viewer here. Have a maybe out of scope question. I want to create my own database for a game I play, but I don't know the correct keyword to search. Would anyone like to hear more about it? IGO 721, that's definitely something a little out of scope, but I mean, it depends. Do you know what type of database you're wanting to use? Do you know what type of data you're trying to store? So when you go to use a database, you got to think about what type of data you want to store first. Is it going to be structured or non-structured? So are you doing? Is it going to be time series? Like what are you trying to store? And then you got to start figuring out what type of architecture you want to use for it, right? Structured is more of your MySQL, your MariaDBs, like those kind of things that are using SQL. Your NoSQL or not SQL, unstructured databases are your Postgres. Or your very, very common ones nowadays are, oh, what the hell's the name of that one? Oh, what the heck's the name of that unstructured one that everybody's using? Not Mongo. Mongo went the way of the BSL, but Mongo was one for a long time. Shit, what's that other database people use? Drawing a blank, guys. But yeah, anyway, so not only SQL, yeah. So I do plenty of discussions around that with as an engineer. Like I input to that a lot, but I don't do a whole lot of the building of the databases. That's more of other people. I'll build out the servers underneath those databases all day, but I don't do a lot of actually picking the databases, but I will again be in the discussion sometimes. Let's see, hold on, I'm over here. Check the Werewolf is running, so there's status. Does it start on startup? Why or why not? And then why would that be? So you got to think about it sometimes. Why does a service, why might we want a service to not start up? Yeah, SQLite's a good one. Yep. What's the one I was thinking of? Redis is another one that's actually a database that's just key value pair for the most part. And then what's the other one that's like that a lot? It's used in Kubernetes. What the heck is that? Actually didn't delete my network manager and I don't have my internet on my PC. How to recover it? Do you have any solutions, please? Football freak, unfortunately, I don't have any solutions for that. I disable network manager all the time, man. So like I don't use network manager professionally. I never have. I actually don't. I don't like all the things that network manager overwrites. Now this is on the Linux side of things, obviously. So if you're talking about a Windows thing, I don't know. But the network manager on Linux, I never run. So never run it professionally. I run everything through typically just flat scripts that I run through Ansible. So, or I'll let the tool that I'm using, like Werewolf, build that stuff for me. Oh, the one I was thinking of was DynamoDB. Jesus, I can I not think of that? Yeah, that's the one, but that's up in AWS, so if you're not running AWS, that doesn't help you much. All right, I'm over here, check the Werewolf's running, and then we're just checking Werewolf out, so we're gonna need to know what the services, what is Werewolf configured to do? That's gonna be cat etc Werewolf. And Werewolf is always with a WULF. It's a different spelling. So if you're ever trying to look it up online, so for this cat etc Werewolf, werewolf.conf. What do you notice about the IP address field? What's important to know about the IP address field? Use NetPlan for feeding Network Manager. Nice. Yeah, I've never run Network Manager. It's just always rewriting like my etcresolve.conf, and it's always doing weird things in my network. And so as a Linux administrator very early on, and then later as a Linux engineer, I've always made the design decision to turn it off. But it's one of these things like you just got to make sure your junior guys know. You just got to make sure that people know not to be turning it on. If it's part of your design not to run it. I don't run it ever. So hold on real quick. So I'm gonna put what port is. What port is Werewolf using? Are my messages too long and not sent? I don't think so. I see your questions, LG. I'm doing other stuff, so I'm not like actively reading everything, but yeah, what you're saying should be showing up. Still unhacked the box, but as soon as I finish, I'm digging in yours. Nice. Next headroom. Hopefully this stuff is useful. I have a whole bunch of labs that are out there that are kind of hands-on. They're on Killer Coda. They're free. So like, free is the best price ever, right? That stuff is all in Killer Coda. And yeah, those things are all 100% free to go hang out and do whatever you guys need to in there. So verify that the port is open. And then What else? Manifest true is on, but it's not there. You can look for some FOSS solution. My strange needs, but don't know how to start. Well, I mean, one of the high speed backend databases that we use in obviously Redis can do a lot of database stuff for you. People use it as a cache, but it's a key value store database, so it's pretty good. But also Cassandra DB. Look into Cassandra. That's not a bad database that for high speed performance. I mean, look, it depends what you're doing with it. Like, for me, I mean, most of the stuff that I build is what I call a proof of concept. You know, I do, can I get it to work? Can I get it to run once? And then I'll leave it to other people to productionalize. Or, I mean, I guess if I have to productionalize it, I'll spend a bunch of additional time working kind of in it. But, sorry guys, I'm looking at... let's see. Check the werewolf logs to see what activity happening in the cluster. Tail-f var log werewolf t.log. And if you guys want to see kind of the activities, like what I'm looking at right now is like tail-f on var log werewolf d-log, and it's like, well, so okay, so what kind of things are happening in a cluster while we're sitting here? Well, there's provision overlays that keep running. There's DHCP type stuff that's happening if a server is pulling new configuration information. There's this logging that's always kind of happening, and it's kind of like a useful thing to see. Let's see, what do you see happening the most in the log? What do you think it means? Oh, I have no idea what I just did. Damn it. That was super annoying. Okay. What do you think it means? Horizontal line. Horizontal line. Alright, so I'm sitting over here, still checking out stuff about all of this. so now I need to bring down some of my formatting. Hey Saber, how's it going? We're just kind of hanging out right now. We're not working too hard. And I am showing you guys just screens full of stuff going on. You guys are watching my Werewolf cluster, whatever kind of stuff is happening in there. And then you're also watching Progress Quest and just some other stuff kind of moving. Yeah, Foss, my links are always unfortunately blocked, but you could also drop it down in Discord if anybody needs to go pull it up out of there. That's a good thing too. So, all right, I'm gonna keep doing my formatting on this other screen, and just lots of formatting stuff. Where are my teeth? New here. What is Progress Quest? Progress Quest is a 22-year-old game that I just decided to pop up the other day when I was co-working here, so you guys could hang out with me and watch it. It sits there and it just plays in the background. I'm not playing it. I'm doing other stuff. I'm co-working on my other screen, and then you guys are just kind of hanging out with me. Saber, we don't have a website command. We do have a Discord and labs, and you could see all the commands if you want. Pretty sure we have all that. Yeah. It's just because I'm co-working. I'm on a different screen doing other stuff, so it gives you guys something to hang out and pay attention to when I'm not talking. Alright, Werewolf, determining head node. Update my, at the very top of my page I have like a table of contents in this training, and it looks like I'm up to 18 pages of training, so that's fun. I started this pretty heavily yesterday, putting together all these labs for these guys to do in the training, so also make sure I have my yeah, Twitch alert should be, that shouldn't be too bad. Tuberta over on the YouTube side said, I am late to sign up for your labs. If not, how can I sign up and start? Okay, so there's a few questions there. One, labs are always active on Killer Coda, and they are 100% free. All you gotta do is go to Killer Coda and find Het Tanis, or I can give you guys a link. Give me 1 second real quick. Let me pull up a link for you guys. So, you know 1 second here. I'll give you guys the link. There's the link. So all the labs are always free, and if you want to do the labs in Killer Coda, they're right there. Now, that's one answer to the question. The other answer that you might have been wondering or looking at was we also have a active Linux Systems Administration course going right now, which is starting in week 6 today. So we're 6 weeks in as of the start of today. And that course is going on down in the Discord. And if you want to join that, you go down in the Discord and you go to the Prolug Projects channel, and you just have to look around for it a little bit. It's not super hard to find. But the thing about it is, you go in there and you can start working through the old stuff if you want to. You can start where we're at and just kind of keep running. For people that finish the whole 16-week course with us, we're going to have these kind of cool little like, I guess you would call them like certificates that show that you did it. And there will also be a way for people to verify. There will be a little like QR code on it, and when people scan that little code, it will take them to your page that shows that you completed it with us. So this is the first time Prolug is doing anything like that. We've been around for 10 years training people to get into Linux Systems Administration Engineering, and this is our Linux sysadmin course. That's just everything. So yeah, the way you find that is you go to our Discord, which is in the description on YouTube, and on the Twitch side, you just do !Discord if you want to join. Free, never going to cost anything. You just hang out down there. And in fact, I think there's guys in there studying right now. Like if you're in our Discord, I think, oh no, there's only a couple guys down there. They were in there studying earlier. So yeah, you guys are welcome to go hang out and talk shop with those guys. We have over 200 people saying they're coming to those. We've only had about 50 each of the last few weeks, but 50 is still pretty good. It's so big that we can't run it out of a normal Discord channel. We had to go to a stage. It wasn't working the other way. So yeah, you guys are welcome to go hang out and do all that stuff. I actually have to work on getting the rest of that stuff done here in a little bit, but for right now, I'm just working on a thing. I'm building out project training for work. So okay, so syslog's running, Kubernetes system checkout is good, SA log is good. I gotta go show them around my system. Yeah, Tuber, you're always welcome. You know, I tell people, like, hanging out with me on here on Discord is like, or on Twitch and YouTube is fine, but this isn't very persistent. This is very one way. I'm talking to you guys. You guys can type back, but for the most part, and also I'm working on other stuff. So, you know, this is very one way. And then, but if you hang out down in Discord with people, you get a lot more, like, other people are throwing stuff in there and they're talking and you're having conversations. And some of the guys have really met some, you know, good colleagues and networking and that kind of stuff with people. There's kind of like a new generation of people coming up through the group, which is awesome because, you know, those people are kind of like the backbone. Oh man, I'll tell you what, Killer Coda is maybe the best thing on the web, because here's the thing, like, how do you, like, a lot of you, how do you want to learn a system? Do you want to go sit down for 8 hours and like do a course on it or something, or would you rather just like kind of chew on stuff like 10 to 15 minutes at a time in the morning when you're like drinking your coffee and checking your emails and stuff? And for me, I'd rather like chew on stuff. If I were trying to learn something new, I'd rather just sit there and like chew on it as I could, you know, like here and there. So that's one of my favorite things about Killer Coda is, one, it's free, like that's huge, and two, it's just a bunch of little scenarios that people create. And me and the Prolug guys, we have about 60, I think if you count Fisherman's labs, we're at about 65 labs or so up there. So there's just a whole bunch of labs that you guys can go and play with. hey, I just want to do 15 minutes of Linux today and get your hands on the systems every day instead of trying to do it all at once later, you know? So, all right, I'm going to show CD to all right. ls-l Alright, CD to root Ansible. Check all the components. LG, let's say I'm busting have to stay inside for an hour with my phone. Is there any way for me to learn more about Linux stuff during this hour? Yeah, LG, I would just, if you're just on a phone, you can get a terminal. Actually, you could go into Killer Code. I've used Killer Code on my phone before. You can get a terminal on your phone because it's just a browser, and then you just zoom in or just blow it up, and then you could type. I mean, if you don't mind typing slow, or in my labs, most of my labs, you have a button you can push and it'll do the command for you. So you could at least go in there and see the output of things. Yeah. You guys got to remember, no, yeah, LG, that's fine. But I mean, Killer Coda will barely use any bandwidth. It's just showing a terminal screen. So nobody's going to be teaching you. You're going to have to go and read the stuff and understand the labs, as we call RTFM, right? Read the field manual. You can do that technically, you know. So yeah, something to think about. All right. So CD there. Check how the command is being run. Where's the schedule for when I usually stream? Where's my teeth? My daily driver, like what I'm using at home here, is a Windows machine, but I literally do Linux all day and night. That's all I do for work. So it doesn't, like, how I get to Linux is of less import to me. The schedule's at the bottom. Also, I just kind of stream whenever I want. So I'm not like super. I mean, I'm a college professor and an engineer, so I stream when I can. But the wife's been out of town the last few days, so I've been kind of streaming a lot. So there's that. I do not use WSL at all. I actually abhor that system. No, I have a whole home lab environment that. Let's see if I can pull this up for you guys. I have a whole home lab environment that is all Linux. I have 3 physical machines, a whole bunch of virtual machines, a whole bunch of clusters of things doing a whole bunch of different stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I don't use any, man, no. Oh, you guys can't see that. Yeah. Here it is. I use a whole, just a whole bunch of stuff. These are all virtual machines that are all Linux. All Linux. So, yep. Non-major nerd, how's it going? We're just hanging out here, and then we're doing stuff in the labs. Let me get that stuff out of the way. I am mostly just kind of hanging out and working on some project stuff on my other window. So I'm not like working super hard. That's Fisherman made that little thing for me, so I figured I'd use it. Not working super hard over here, guys. I think that little penguin's hilarious, so that's why you guys get to look at him, because I think he's hilarious. Yeah, LG Proxmox is getting they're getting like a super big push right now, and the reason is because, man, I don't know if you guys have been tracking. Well, I'm sure some of you are in the industry and tracking, but for those of you outside of the industry not tracking, so Broadcom bought VMware, and that's fine, you know, companies buy companies, but I don't know like what analysis they did as they did that, but they decided, well, VMware ESXi hosts and this being run all over the world should be between 4 and 10 times more expensive. That's what they decided. I don't know who decided this for them, but I know people who are on those contracts in different companies who are renewing those and not renewing those. And there's a huge amount of, there's just like a huge amount of companies that are like, yeah, we're not going to be extorted like this. We're going to get off of this. And some of them are going to Proxmox. Some are going to Firecracker too. So Firecracker is a server, not a server, but Firecracker is a tool that runs underlying a bunch of AWS stuff when they got off of Zen. Yeah, LG, they're probably not thinking about it as much anymore because it's between 4 and 10 times more expensive than it was a year ago to do the same exact amount of work. But anyways, you said you don't really know what you want to run on the Proxmox machine. LG, down in our Discord, this is why I always, like, guys, just so everybody knows, I don't get anything from Discord, right? Like, I don't make 10 more cents a month for anybody just hanging out in Discord. Discord's all just free. What we get out of it is we have a place to hang out and talk. And what they get out of it is probably just collecting all of our data, which is fine. The reason I'm telling you that, though, is we have a lot of stuff down there, LG, where the people are doing home labs. Man, there's one of our guys is printing out a bunch of like holders for his. He's got like a little half rack server set, but I don't think it's a full 28 and whatever inches across. I don't think he's got a full rack set up. I think like a mini rack, but he's been custom printing his own stuff to log everything out and stuff, or to log it to stack everything. And I'm like, dude, that's super fucking cool. Like, he doesn't have to just have his stuff sitting on his desk. He's got this little, and I have a whole half rack sitting behind me, but it's the actual exact standard that you would find in a data center, you know. Media setup on the home lab. I think I'm going for all the R's. Yeah, I do a lot with next. I do a lot with connecting my Windows systems back into all my Linux boxes. Mostly use Samba for that. I don't have any cool media setup. I'm not one of these guys that has like One of our guys popped in here the other day, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I have 67 terabytes of video and stuff like that." And I'm like, "Oh, that's a lot of video and data, you know." Like I'd have to redo my lab to be able to handle that much. That's like 6-7 terabytes is a fair amount. Now in my data space, like where I work in high performance compute, 67 terabytes is nothing. I'll fill that up in a couple hours, right? But in the home space, that's a lot, right? Like when somebody tells me they got 67 terabytes of stuff sitting around at home, I'm like, ooh, that's a lot of data, you know. Takes a long. You start to get into these long, you know, 18 to like 48-hour operations to move data and store, you know, fix disks and redo things, and it starts to get like it's tedious, and it's yeah, it's interesting. But anyways, all right, let's see, last shell check, tab dash L, and I'm gonna say how often. Either report. Sorry guys, I'm looking at stuff and not necessarily looking over at the screen too much. I'm getting I'm in focus mode for a second. Killa, yes, you can do all the same things on a VM that you can in Killer Coda. Yep. The difference is, so the thing about Killer Coda is it's all right. So let's back up a second. I always tell you guys about this. Like when I got into Linux 20 something years ago, the way that you became a Linux engineer was somebody threw a disk at you back when we had physical disks and said, hey, go ahead and install Linux and then we'll talk tomorrow. And if you couldn't install Linux, you couldn't be a Linux engineer. That was it. That was it. That was the end of it. You went back to networking or whatever. You defaulted to a security guy later or something. But you couldn't do Linux. Now, though, the barrier of entry, what we call the barrier of entry, is much lower. You don't have to build Linux first. That used to be our way to filter people out, and good or bad, and don't get mad at me about it. I'm just telling you guys the way it was. You couldn't do Linux if you couldn't get it installed. Now you could start learning Linux and you could start working in that space well before you ever go and spend a lot of time digging into the proclivities of how booting happens and those kind of things. So I think it's better. But yeah, could you do all the same things in a VM at home and stuff like that? Yeah. I mean, you guys have seen all the smug, like when Fisherman talks about like the smug Unix guy with his suspenders and the old Dilbert cartoons and stuff. There's a reason that's like a meme and a trope, is because it's real. That's really how old Linux engineers are. I do the best I can, but I still hate stupid questions. And you say, oh, there's no such thing as stupid questions. There's stupid questions. There's unresearched questions. People who are there are questions that somebody asks you the same thing, 3 months later that you've already told them, and they haven't went and looked it back up again because they didn't bother. There are those types of questions, 100%. I try not to like hammer people that are new, but like I try to tell you guys, like you have to spend time. There are unresearched questions, and they will draw the ire of people who are trying to help you, but you're wasting their time. And you're wasting your own time at that point too, because you're never going to learn it because you refuse to. So I'm not saying you, Killa. I'm not like singling any one person out. I'm just saying this in general. So you have to, as a engineer, spend time, do the work, get the reward. You can't always answer questions. Yeah. Can I tell you guys, this is one of the things, like I tell you guys, like, our Discord's 100% free. Our Linux Systems Administration course is 100% free. And I hope I don't hurt anybody's feelings that's already dropped out, but I'm still going to say it because it's a fact. I'm not selling, like, it's free, right? You guys can take it free. Like, I'm not taking any money from anybody to do that Linux Systems Administration course, but I am selling you hard work. It is not easy to get into this field. I think anybody can do this field, but I don't think it's easy. There's a big difference between those. Same thing with, like, I train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I've trained it for 20-something years now. I think anybody can do it, but some people, after their fingers hurt and after their nose gets wiped a few times and they get a black eye or something, they quit. So it's like, I'm not selling you guys easy on any of this stuff. You still have to work at this stuff to get good at it. I'm just kind of, you know, I'm the I'm Ugandan Knuckles over here. I will show you the way. I will show you the way. Fucking guy. All right, I'm getting myself in trouble over here. Wait, so check the execution playbook. Roles. Daily. More main. PWD. Check out how the system gathers the data. Cat, root Ansible roles, daily health checks. Okay. Check how the system reports it, or how the system builds the cat out this file. Check the vault to look at how report. Check the vault to look at how the report sends. Check the vault to look at how the report sends. So we're going to check the vault password, and then we're going to check the vault to see this could be tool to Teams. Yeah. So yeah, people. Look, I think anybody can do this stuff. I just think people need to spend time with it, right? Like it would be like if you told me, Scott, I want to learn Spanish, and I'm like, well, how much Spanish have you been practicing? And you're like, well, between 0 and none. And I'm like, well, I guess I can't. One, I probably couldn't help you speak too much Spanish anyways, but I also definitely couldn't help you if you weren't going to practice it. Austin, over on the YouTube side, how's it going? We are Working not very hard. In fact, I'm going to take a walk here in a second because we're over an hour and I haven't gotten up and walked around. But we will keep working on this stuff here in a minute. I am co-working though on a different side, so you guys don't actually get to see kind of what I'm working on because it is all right, so check the vault password. Oops. So what's the vault password? Check the vault password. What's the password here? It's more. So, or just cat. Where do I want them to cat? This directory. Enzo Bear, how's it going? We are just hanging out. We're not working too hard. And I am co-working in another screen. And probably in a little bit, I'm going to switch over and I'll actually show you guys my screen. And I'm going to be building out the stuff for today's Unit 6 meeting. So that's where I'm at right now, Enzo Bear. Yeah, my voice is a lot better. I've been doing pretty good the last few days. It is cold in Phoenix, though. I'll tell you, it was rainy. And I think it's only supposed to get... It's 63 right now, but when I drove around earlier, I think it was like even just around 60 and it was raining. So you say, Scott, that's not that cold. And I go, no, 60 and raining is cold when you just hit 116 on like, I don't know, like 11 days ago. We were still at 116 here. And now it's, you know, we finally got that storm that came in and kind of broke summer's back. So now we're like kind of chilling here in Phoenix. Yeah, what was it out there? I don't know what part of the country you're in, but I bet it was cooler than here in Phoenix. Yeah, we were having a brutal summer out here. Well, I guess sneeze. Oh man. All right. So let me check out how. All right, talking set. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't realize it was out here, but yeah, I imagine it was kind of cool last night. We had that storm in town. I know where Talking Stick is. Yep, other side of town for me. I'm more over on the Glendale side. I'm closer to the. I tell people I'm only about 11 miles away from the arena that the Cardinals play in. So I'm right around. I'm very conveniently located. I'm by the Loop 101, so like I can go pretty much anywhere very quickly. Well, when they're not doing construction on it, because they've had this thing under construction. So, and then we had the Coyote Stadium right there. Now we have just the empty stadium because the Coyotes left us for Utah, I think. Now I don't really watch a lot of sports on that note, but it is kind of funny that I don't watch a lot of sports anymore. I did when I was younger. As I've gotten older, I've had less time. It's like drinking. I don't know when I stopped drinking. I just don't drink anymore. And people are like, "You don't drink?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, I guess if somebody put a beer in my hand, I'd drink, but I couldn't tell you the last time I drank alcohol because like I don't go out of the way to do it, you know? So it's just kind of funny that like people one of my wife's friends, she's like, "Oh, you and your husband are teetotalers." And we're like, "What the hell's a teetotaler?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah, that's when you don't drink." And I'm like, "Oh, I guess I'm a teetotaler." So like I you know, I've probably drank if I had to guess, I've drank less than 5 times in the last 5 years, you know? Like, I'd probably be willing to bet it's less than once a year. But it's not because I don't, like, I wouldn't. Yeah, teetotaler is just somebody who doesn't drink. Yeah, I never. Yeah, I hadn't heard of it either, and I just accidentally became one because when I was younger, you know, I was army, I was infantry, I was a partier, and then as I got older, I just like stopped drinking. I'm busy with other stuff. I don't have as much use for it. I don't want to be like anybody here ever seen the old Jungle Book movie, like the old cartoon, and the snake tries to hypnotize the tiger. And he goes, no, 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 I don't have any time for that. And he just like grabs it. He just hits him with his big paw, like knocks his eyes down while he's trying to hypnotize him. That's kind of what I feel like. I'm like, oh no, no, I don't, no, no, I don't have any time for that. He just kind of smacks him over. Does teetotaler also mean no coffee, alcohol, and a few other things? Well, I am definitely not a teetotaler then, because while I'm not a big fan of coffee, I drink the hell out of Monster. So I drank a whole bunch of Monsters. In fact, I probably put some of their kids through college on the old Monster thing. So yeah. In fact, I only drink blue Monsters because if I were to drink green Monsters, I would probably put on 100 pounds a year. Like those green ones, if you ever go look at like the side of like a normal can of those things, it's like 340 calories. It's like eating a piece of cake to drink one of those. So like I don't do the ones that have calories in them. Mine only have like 30 calories total for the whole drink. So yeah, I wear my teeth. The monster addiction definitely makes the heart hurt sometimes, but I feel like as long as I can keep wrestling and I stay pretty active with wrestling the younger 20 and 30-year-olds, I feel like I'm okay. The white ones are good too, Killer. That's what my brother John drinks, is the white ones. So like actually my brother Tommy does too. So like if I'm at their houses and I don't bring my own, then I just have one of their white ones. So yeah, whites are probably they're fine. The white Monsters are pretty good. So sponsored by Scott. Yeah, Dave. Yeah. Thanks for coming by the way. You guys are welcome to hang out. I'm going to take a walk real quick. I'm just going to I like to walk every now and then, so go check on Ranger Dog too. I'm going to stop this and say echo, let's just say while true, do echo, take a break and walk around. Sleep 10, date. Alright, take a break, walk around, guys. I'll be right back. I could give Ranger treats on cam if you guys wanted. You guys want Ranger to have a treat? Here. I'll leave progress questions back window. I'll go Ranger cam real quick. There's Ranger cam. I'll go give Ranger some treats on stream. So, you guys hang out. I'm gonna leave. Let's leave Enzo in charge. Enzo's in charge. You guys listen to Enzo. All right, we'll be right back here in a second. So I think you guys saw Ranger get his treats, right? I'm back. Thanks for the follow, for people who followed. Crunkmaster Cash, that's a great name. Hopefully this stuff's useful to you. Yeah, this is Grafana. So Grafana shows Ranger Cam as a pass-through. We'll watch Ranger for a little bit while I'm sitting here. Also, I grabbed a monster. Go back to, we were watching Werewolf over here. Just watching our systems like grab their provisioning of their overlays and stuff. Yeah, so I could show you guys Ranger Cam directly, but I wanted to have a more stable, interface, and that camera can push out motion picture JPEG. I think it's a motion picture JPEG. We can check, watch. We can look at how I'm doing it. So this is an iframe pass-through. You can't do this in newer modes. Yeah, it's MJPEG. And then I'm hitting that on my internal system, and I'm just dropping it into an iframe. That's all that visualization is for Ranger Check. I also have Nagios down here. We don't even talk about the Nagios very often, but yeah. Just kind of hang out and watch Ranger. Make sure Ranger's doing all right. He's downstairs. It's nice and 72-ish degrees down there. He's got his beds all pushed around because, you know, he's Ranger. So I wonder if we move off and go back, does that stop? Well, I'm going to go back. So it's sitting on the stone giants right now. Now, so all right, so we'll leave that up because that's running in the background. So we'll just let that flip between Ranger and that. So if anybody has questions about Ranger, so you can be adding security cameras to your house. Think of doing PoE to the server, but will Grafana be good? Where's my teeth? I wouldn't, if I was using multiple cameras, I wouldn't use Grafana for that. There's actually a tool. Let me find the name of the tool. I got to go look in another window. It's called somebody help me out here. What's that other tool we used to use? I had a version of it in my home lab here. Give me a second here. I'm gonna find it. It's not OpenIP. It's ZoneMinder. ZoneMinder. So let me send this to you. Now, ZoneMinder there's a paid for service, but there's also an open source version. So go look in that site I sent you. Go look at the open source, and there's even so you can download ZoneMinder. It will aggregate all your cameras to one place for you, and it will also do some really cool. Man, it can do human detection and dog detection and vehicle detection. So if you're already going to be pulling all that down and you've got a little extra CPU cycles in your lab somewhere or somewhere in your home devices, you can actually just have it like timestamp when people were in your cameras and when dogs were walking by and all kinds of things that might be interesting to somebody in a neighborhood, you know, if you were trying to keep your stuff a little more secure. Also, somebody mentioned this the other day, and I think it's actually really smart. I would 100% do power over Ethernet to your cameras, because if your cameras are doing Wi-Fi and, you know, somebody either accidentally or maliciously jams them, that's not super great. Yeah, Colchis, we used to run that in here. I used to have that as part of the lab, and I would just have it spin up every now and then and show people kind of what was going on. Yeah, cool. Cause I want to set up I want to set something up for my house too. And some of the guys, look, this was the thing. I'll link to you guys what the guys were showing me the other day. Man, I kind of went down this rabbit hole of this ubiquity stuff. Oh man, oh there's so like I was like I got to get out of here before I go start spending money. And the wife's out of town, so she's not even around to stop me. Yeah, look. You could cobble stuff together. Yeah, obviously you can. I mean, like my Ranger Cam has been running for many years, and it is you know it's doing what it does. But I would like a little more reliable something for kind of our stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So hey, where's my teeth? I'll tell you what, man. If you do set up your lab, you know, if you set that up and you do a cool little deployment or something of it, and you want to come talk to the group about it, by all means, please let me know. And I don't know, I mean, not everybody knows this, but I'll just put this out here. This is probably the only time I've ever said this publicly, because normally I just say this down and we've got a special channel for people that have been around our Prolog for a long time. But if people come and talk to our group, I give them a $50 gift card somewhere. Or I guess I could just send them $50. But I normally do like an Amazon $50 gift card. So yeah, I pay for our speakers to come and talk to us. I mean, look, most of our speakers, by the way, would come and talk to you guys for free. But I do that so that they feel like they're getting something for it, but also like they take it a little more seriously. We take it a little more seriously, like all that kind of stuff. So yeah, if you do a cool project like that, Where's My Teeth, and you document it and you want to show it to people for an hour and a half on one of our Saturday meetings, yeah. I mean, I've used the Raspberry Cam for a long time. I've been using Raspberries for 10 years. So yeah, there's one of the cameras. There's it's a 6 foot, so it's a 2 meter cable that you can get with it, and you can run your Raspberry cameras in some pretty interesting ways. But problem with Raspberry camera is you only can get one because it goes directly onto the board. You can only get one per Raspberry. That's always a limitation of those cameras. But if you had a camera that was doing IP back to it, you'd be able to get multiple data shared through that. So multiple camera things. All right, guys, I am done with my walking around, so I am going to go back to my playing around with the system and checking things and all that stuff. So let me do that. Oh, cool, because I have so much Raspberry sitting around. You know, can I tell you the best thing? Wait, so I normally don't like tell people what to do, but if you're telling me, hey, I've got Raspberries just sitting around, go do this. This is my I run retro game nights here every now and then. RetroPie, man. Set up a RetroPie, and then talk to me if you need help finding ISOs. There's a fair amount of ISOs that are out there, but the RetroPie runs really good on even the older ones. And then if you have one of like the 8 gig 4s, you probably get quite a bit out of it. But yeah, it's pretty good. Motors for scanning, nice. Where's My Teeth? That might be kind of interesting. Yeah, like Arduino's motors for scanning. And then the only thing about that for me would be if I one-offed it and then it broke, I'd just be like, whatever. It's focused where it's focused. So yeah, Colcus, I have built so many RetroPies out over my time, and I would just always have gaming nights over here. In fact, I should have done one this weekend while the wife's gone, but I just didn't throw it up on the old social medias, so nobody would come right now. But yeah, I'll get like 20 of my buddies over, and it'll be like guys' night, and we'll just have pizza over here, and we retro game on that. And we've got a modded Xbox that we could play every old arcade game from our youth. So yeah, you have to manage it. So like for me, I would like to keep track of the front and side and actually back of my house a little more, because I have one of those streets where my front is to a street and then the back of my yard is to a street as well, but the street behind me is like a busy street, right? And you know, people do speed up and down it. I'm not gonna like turn anybody in for that kind of shit, but if they're being loud late at night, or if they're doing donuts or something in the street, I'm definitely gonna want video evidence in case I ever catch them, right? Like, anyway, so that kind of stuff. So, all right. Oh, so what happened to my influx box? I need to figure out what's happening to my influx server, because one of my influx servers is getting hammered. Which means that's an interesting thing for me. Alright. So anyways, you guys are watching that. You guys can see the game, and you guys can check on Ranger. And I'm over here building out more of my training stuff. How do we check? Okay, so now they can check on containers. So hopefully here in a little bit I'll be all the way up to section 3. I really want to get all of my labs done this weekend, so then this next week is just kind of populating my slides and making sure that I have every kind of bit of training that I want in there. You know, that's kind of my last little bit of this training I'm doing. And then yeah, I mean, look, it's already going to be the 28th coming up is when I'll be in Hawaii giving this training. So I'll be up there with our customer doing this training. I know I tell everybody I have to suck it up. I gotta go, you know, a man's gotta do what a man's gotta do, right? Gotta go out there and spend 5 days in Hawaii. I know it's gonna be hard, and if somebody's gotta do it, I guess it's gonna be me, you know. I'm just kidding, but the wife, oh hey Robodom, how's it going, man? Robodom's one of my admins and mods on both sides, so he always does a good job of telling you guys about the Discord and telling you guys about what's going on. Robodom, yeah, I'm co-working, so I'm just showing you guys some stuff in my windows and just kind of talking a little bit as I work on a different screen. So for anybody that has questions or want to see anything, let me know. Yeah, that's fine, Robodom. You're welcome to come and go as you please. That's always it's always good. We just like when you're hanging around. Let's see. My next one is going to be checking out container images. So, yeah, and then Robodom's giving you guys the Discord link. Again, like, Discord's free. All the stuff down in there's free. We just tell you guys about it because it's more persistent than this. Like, I'm hanging out and we're doing stuff, but as you can see over there, we're not working too hard. So, all right, let's see. I'm going to bring this down, my formatting. So formatting is very important. And then I'm going to say WWCTL, so check current container images. WWCTL container list will show us all the available containers. And Runamucker's here. How's it going? We're just working through some stuff. Kind of hanging out here. So check the current container images, and then I'm going to say, what is the average size of a container image? How many do you see? Right? Runamucker, thanks for the gifted sub over to Where's My Teeth. Hopefully Where's My Teeth can refresh their page and not see any more ads. So I always like that. You know, you guys don't have to give subs, but it's always nice when you do. It's just motivating, and it gives me more funds to bring in more guest speakers. Oh, by the way, I got to go reach out. I've got a buddy who he just left Qualys, and Qualys is a really good company. That's Qualys. It's a really good company for just scanning of systems and that kind of stuff. They're their security company, and he's just recently left them and gone over to chief role. So he's got a C before his name now, and I want him to come in and talk to you guys about navigating the security roles that are out there, because a lot of people think they want to do security, and I don't know how he'll, you know, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he will tell you that like security has its own things. It's not just like a lot of people think, oh, I'll just get into security and I'll hack all the time, and it's like, no, that's not really how it works, right? Like there's a lot of stuff that's kind of weird. Yeah, isn't security just regex these days? That's funny. Okay, so I need to then go to cd var var lib werewolf and df-h dot and c to ch roots, and then that's a good joke though, Runmucker. I mean, I tell people all the time, like, I've seen more people get broken getting into security. Like, when I say broken, I mean like they thought they were going to be doing all this cool stuff, and then the next thing they know, all they do is audit and reports, and they don't actually get to fix anything. I would tell you guys, like, you want to build stuff, and you want to like hack away, in air quotes, you want to hack at a system until it works. Be an engineer, be a systems engineer. I get to hack away on shit all the time. Now, I'm not cracking into systems, I'm not trying to take them over, but I am using my brain and trying to figure out how certain things work. And you guys have seen my model before. I'm not going to pull it up right now, it's in Discord, but you know, engineering is just hacking with documentation planning before and documentation after. That's all it is. Like, if you guys watched what I did all day, like if you saw my other screen here, you would be like, I don't know how this guy gets anything done. I don't know how he gets paid like he does. And you'd be right. If people saw what I did, you'd think I was insane. But the outcome of what I do and the documentation that I do and the all cleaned up work, when it's all done, it looks like I had it all together the whole time. And that's what a lot of engineering is. But anyways, where I'm going is that's what people think security is going to be. But a lot of the security, like if you get on a GRC team, governance, risk compliance, you are literally just going to be tapping people on the shoulder all the time going, oh, no, you didn't do that right. And they're just going to hate you. So, yeah, like I don't think people realize, like, just getting into security isn't the only goal. The goal is to find something that's interesting. It's one of the reasons I'm so big on Linux is from Linux, you could then go do security, and you can go do storage, like big store. I have a friend who he's got a bachelor's degree in music, and he makes a couple $100,000 a year. He's probably up around 300K now, just selling and fixing storage shit for people. That's all he does. He goes out and consults and does storage work, and he says, just storage? Yeah, companies need their disks to keep spinning, and they need their storage working with, and that's all he does, is he just consults on a bunch of storage stuff. Pretty much sets his own time, does whatever he wants, you know. He can, and he makes really good money doing it. But he hacked around in Linux and figured that out in college, like, hey, this is fun, and then he got into storage. Yeah, have the capacity to branch out. Yeah, I just think of, I was saying this last night, like, I just think of Linux like the piano of networking, or the piano of engineering rather. It's like everybody goes back to a piano in music, and everybody goes back to Linux in engineering, right? But I also have another thing about engineering. I'm convinced that all engineers eventually want to be electrical and mechanical engineers as well. So like me, I've always have projects that I want to do, and then it's like, I wish I had done a little more electrical or mechanical engineering to get this thing to work the way that I want. So Robodom, he works for companies, but yeah, I think he's all contract now. Yep, I'm pretty sure he's all contract now. But yeah, you guys just got to build a skill, find something that you're interested in. You know, there's that old saying, you know, find something you love and let it kill you. You know, not that you want it to kill you, but it can be difficult and rewarding work, but pay you really good money to go spend time and have fun and do other things that you want. You know. All right, so let me keep working on my lab over here. Checking current container images. So, checking current container images. Check current images. How many do you see? Which ones seem to be applied to the most machines? I'm going to add some spaces here for them to write. Insert more lines. Okay. All right. Robodom, how's your day going? You having a good one out there? You still in the California area? Don't mind me saying. That's a pretty big spot, so I don't think I'm gonna be outing you to anybody or anything there. It's a pretty big state. Also, are you guys getting some of the storm? We're getting a huge storm. Well, not a huge storm. We're just getting a lot of rain in Phoenix right now, and it's finally cool out. We were, I was saying earlier how it was 116, I want to say on like the 7th, so like a week and a half ago. Maybe that's closer to 2 weeks ago now. But anyways, and then, oh no, that was only a week and a half ago. But it's only supposed to get to 72 today because it rained. And it was nice and cool, so. Visiting the Bay Area, that's up north, right? Yeah. How far is that from the south area, Robodom? I think that's a few hours, right? Maybe 8 hours or so. Because for me to get to the south part of California, like for me to San Diego, oh, it wasn't bad, Robodom. No, it was just light rain. I think it had a little bit of a deluge last night, or deluge, but it wasn't too bad. No, just some rain. Wait, what was I thinking though? For me to get to like San Diego is only about 6 hours from here, so it's probably shorter for me to get to San Diego than for some of you guys down south to go way up to the Bay Area. You know, the San Diego, Los Angeles, both those are about 6 hours for me. I think I can make it over to Los Angeles in about 5 hours, really, but so it's not terrible. Oh, 1 hour when you fly. Nice, smart. That's actually pretty good. Like when I go up to Colorado from here, it's an 11-hour drive or a 1 hour flight. So yeah, me and my buddy that go up there will fly. Even if we have to fly into Denver and then it's just an hour drive down, that's still, you know, less than half the time to just fly and then drive for an hour. That's not too bad. So how's Ranger doing? Ranger's looking over the side of his bed there. I don't know if you guys saw that. Also, my guy's up to level 31, so that's pretty good. In a game that we don't have to do anything on. Yeah, I was gonna say the beach area stays pretty much the same year round, I think. Freaking Ranger dog. Okay. I'm still working on labs over here, so you guys keep going over there and check current container images. Seeing what they're set on. Yeah, Robodom, Cali's pretty spread out on the differences there, for sure. They say that same thing about what is it? Is it Washington, where it's like it's real wet right along the edge, but then when you go in, it's some of it's more almost like the Idaho to the, what is that, to the east of it there. I have two of my brothers have moved, so I have four brothers, right? There's five guys in my family, and two of them have already moved up to Idaho, and then the other two are planning on eventually moving up there. And I'm just like, what the hell do we have up in Idaho, guys? Like, what are we doing here? So like all my brothers like kind of keep wanting to move up there, and me and my wife have looked at each other and been like, we're not moving to Idaho, right? Like, no, I have no reason to go up there. So no, I'm gonna stay down here in the Phoenix area. Just hang out down here. I don't need to go traveling like that and move into a whole different state. Although my one brother, he did get in pretty early, and he bought I think he's on like 10 point. We looked it up the other day. He's on 10 and some change acres, and he got it for like 260K, and that's pretty good because I'm pretty sure that's worth like over $1 million right now. So, you know, that's a nice little equity jump right there. As long as you're not pulling. Hopefully he's not pulling, if you're pulling out of your equity on that, then that's insanity if you ask me, but what do I know? I'm just a guy. I'm just an engineer that does stuff. Alright. So checking out the current container images. So we'll look at checking current container images. Move that down. Check the directory where we store images. The directory we store the images. Where the images are stored. Hey, thanks for the gifted sub there, Runamucker, to Producer Wolf. Hopefully this stuff's useful. Oh, Producer Wolf, are you coming in on a raid? I'm not even seeing that yet. So hopefully this stuff's useful to you guys. We are just hanging out. We are not working too hard today. That's kind of the theme of my streams lately. Although I am working hard in a different window. You guys just aren't seeing it. And I am building training for a project that I'm on at work. So I decided to let you guys kind of hang out with me while I do it. We're playing games. We're watching my dog Ranger hang out. And just figuring stuff out as we go. So yeah, this is definitely live. Yeah. No, I'm definitely live. In fact, the other day somebody said, oh, you should set this up as the other day I was on and I was hanging out and we were watching videos of me, and somebody said, hey, you should put down that this was pre-recorded. I'm like, but it's not pre-recorded, it's live. It's live. I could pause what we, and I know you're not saying that, but I'm saying this was the other day. Somebody was like, oh, you're watching, you know, it's pre-recorded. I'm like, no, it's not. That's not what pre-recorded means. Pre-recorded means I put that shit on and I walk away for 6 hours and just let you guys watch old videos of me. That's not what I was doing. I was sitting there and I was working on a different window, and I told people, I was like, hey, I'll pause this and answer any question you guys want, you know, well, I mean, within reason, right? So like, yeah, no, we're hanging out. I know you're not saying that, Producer, but yeah, Producer, you've been around for a while, and I know you've raided in here before and stuff, so I always appreciate it. Appreciate people hanging out, and I appreciate Runamucker giving gift subs so people don't have to watch ads. Yeah, I'm hanging out. I liked that little we're not working too hard thing that Fisherman made for me in the bottom right hand corner there. So one of our guys made that for me in the Discord yesterday, and that was my favorite one. He's just sitting there going, we're not working too hard. So all right, I am making training in the other labs, so I'm up to Werewolf, checking current container images, and these are the same type of commands that we can do over here. Like we were watching this, but we could do wwctl container. And if you do a command like this, but you don't know what you want to see, it'll pop up like this, and it'll show you a bunch of, hey, buddy, what are you trying to do? And I'll say, okay, well, I want to do a wwctl, and I want to list, container list. I want to list all the containers. And there's the containers in my home lab. So those are the containers that are actually assigned to, if I do a wwctl node list dash, and let's just say Rocky 1 dash A grep for container, I can see that Rocky 1 has the container of Rocky Linux 9 dash lab. So when I've wanted to modify these on stream with you guys around, I will go and exec into that container and do the different thing. Yeah, where's my teeth? I'm running Werewolf with Rocky Linux everywhere. Actually, people down in the Discord have access to jump in here and be on these machines. Yeah. So if I do wwctl node list, we've got all of these nodes hanging out here that are available for people to connect into. And if anybody's ever connected to that, you jump into a bastion and it says, which number would you like to go to? And then you pick a number and it jumps you into that server. So waiting on a courier to deliver. Oh, speaking of that, Runamucker, yeah, hopefully you get that power over Ethernet. So Pi 5, I don't even have a Pi 5. That's really awesome. Well, Runamucker, if you do any of that and you write any of that up and put it in the Discord, I'm sure people would read it and like it. So that's really cool. But by the way, I went downstairs earlier to give Ranger a treat when I told you guys I was going to take a walk. And I had forgotten that I had ordered some stuff. So I went out front and I had, Amazon had brought me a little bag. They give you like, there's an insulated bag and they had thrown a water bottle in with it, which I thought was funny. So I threw that in the freezer to show to the wife in a couple days. But I had ordered a couple of acai bowls. Let's see if it's going to say, yeah, it's spelled acai, right? Which is kind of like a, they're kind of like this high protein, like berry from, it's very popular in Brazil. It's very popular in Brazilian jiu-jitsu culture. And, you know, I've been doing that forever. So I figure, oh, I'll go eat some acai. Maybe it'll make me better. But anyways, I forgot too that I had ordered, so I forgot that I had ordered this stuff late at night last night. Spent a little bit, but I bought an extra monitor for my laptop. And when I say extra monitor, what I mean is, like, have you guys ever seen those monitors that are like a little bit bigger than an iPad, and then they've got a little stand, and you just like put them next to your laptop when you're remote, and you just put that extra monitor up, and now boom, you've got two monitors again. Whereas like at home, I got a whole bunch of monitors in a docking station and stuff, but when I'm out and about, now I've got this other monitor that just fits in my lab. Yeah, Pobra Blasta. I'm a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Yep, I've been a black belt for 4 years now. I've been training for 21 years. Yeah. So I've been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for quite some time. Yeah, I like to tie people up. Producer Wolf, thanks for the raid with the party one. I appreciate it. Where's my teeth? I'm a silent Debbie and elitist, but also daily drive arch to keep the blood pressure up. Yeah, that's fun. Look, where's my teeth? I tell people all the time, like, we are you know, an engineering group. We have all kinds of hobbyists and people that do this stuff, but the other aspect of this, not just being hobbyists and people that do it for fun, we want to get people to do it professionally. So there's that. Yeah, thanks for the raid, guys. Producer Wolf, I know you've raided me over the years, so always nice. I have not seen an RC on Grafana. Is it bad? Look at Ranger over there. All right, I got to keep going over here, checking containers, checking that, checking which one is there. Node list that, so we go check the space. Why do I think that's different than what you saw earlier in the lab? All right, checking current container images. Okay, so there's all the images. And then let's say copying and modifying that. Okay. 2024 9264. That's probably right. Producer Wolf, if you need to, you can always drop it in Discord and I'll pull up 9.8. Jeez. Yeah, that's bad. Wonder if people respond more quickly to that than they did with SolarWinds, right? When SolarWinds jacked everybody. Yeah, put that in security because I'm sure people want to read about it and want to know. I mean, I know I get a fair amount of my tech info just from what people drop in Discord. Where's my teeth? Yeah, I had comments earlier about going back to school for network engineering, trying to focus on architecture coming from a DevOps environment at my last job. Yeah, where's my teeth, man? You just got to find something that's interesting to you. Like, for me, I started with network engineering. When I got out of the Army, I was a CCNA, and I went and did networks for a big school district. And then I just was like, I'm gonna go do more system stuff, and I kind of jumped over to do more systems. So, yeah, if you guys drop anything in Discord and Robodom sees it, he'll bring it up here, and he'll link it to you guys. So, Robodom's real good about that. He's a mod in both sides, by the way. So, as long as everybody's behaving, I don't have to use him to smack anybody down. But if I need to, Robodom is he's like my red right hand. By the way, anybody here ever watch? God, what was that? Was that Peaky Blinders that had Red Right Hand in it? I'm pretty sure it was. But have any of you guys? Well, I'm pretty sure it was Peaky Blinders. And then like you watch it and you're like, oh man, I did not know that there were over 400 or 500 covers to this effing song, because literally every time Peaky Blinders came out with a new episode, there was a different version of Red Right Hand playing or singing or in the intro or at the end. And I was just like, oh my gosh, there cannot be this many covers of this song. They're like writing covers for the show. I was like, oh my god, it was good. You know what? Where's my teeth? The reason I liked Peaky Blinders so much has nothing to do with what everybody else liked it for. What I liked it for is I'm a combat infantryman, right? Like I was infantry in 03. Oh, I was 99 to 03, but I was at the kickoff of Iraqi war, and the way they portrayed the three brothers in Peaky Blinders coming back from that war. They never showed them. I mean, obviously he was always having flashbacks and stuff, but the PTSD that the brothers had, I was like, holy shit. Like, this is all the guys I know. This is like all my infantry buddies, you know, this is like what they experienced. Like, some of them came back and just were shell shocked, man. Some of them were just fucked up, like FUBAR, beyond all repair. Some of them were like me and like, I'm much more of like a push it all down and let it just blow one day. But like look, it's not the purpose of the stream, but I tell you guys, like there's a certain, like, I mean, you train, like, let's say you train dogs to attack people, but then the dogs get to go attack people. It's hard for those dogs to ever turn it off. And it's similar for a person, you know, you're trained to go do violence on behalf of your country. Like, people talk about like self-defense. I'm like, I never trained a day of self-defense in my life. Never once. We were offensive. Infantry is close with and destroy the enemy by means of firepower and maneuverability, right? Like, that's what the infantry does. They are the death dealers of their country. They are the queen of battle, and people are like, oh, you're queens. Well, queen's the most powerful piece on the chessboard, and that's where that term comes from, being the queen of battle. But anyway, so you know, that's neither here nor there. But I'm just saying, like, it's kind of. I thought Peaky Blinders was so good at showing that. They were so good at showing these dudes that were just, oh man, those guys were messed up that first. I mean, he's messed up the whole time. Don't get me wrong, but like, if you recall, like his brothers and what happened to him, I'm not going to spoil anything. The first season was really good, but they did such a good job of showing like these dudes that like the one of them was just so done that like his mind was blasted. Like dude was just done, you know. So yeah, where's my teeth? Thanks for that. I don't like bring it up. I don't sit around and talk stories about it or none of that kind of stuff. It's just people I hang out for a while. They're like, oh yeah, this guy was an infantry guy, and it's like, why'd you go in the infantry? You know, I had top scores on my ASVABs. I probably could have done anything, but then they found out that I was colorblind, so that's not great. I had to get a waiver for my colorblindness to get in, and for my glasses because my glasses are so thick. But I got in the infantry, which isn't super hard, by the way. Infantry, like ASVAB score 28, you're going in the infantry. And that's like 20th percentile. So all he sees is red. Yeah, I can barely see red. It's actually all red because green and red are the same color to me. I'm just kidding. All right. So I'm checking out the node image and the node, see what image it is using. All right, so that's the lab on Werewolf checking a container current image. Seeing where they're at, seeing the size differences. Now we're going to say copy and modify this. So I'm going to go become root again. So we're going to do a df for the werewolf C troops. All right. So what else is everybody working on? Saturday, right? So you got... I should have Saturday and Sunday off, but I am like prepping so hard for this that I'm literally working right now. Like I'm not getting any time off. I'm probably going to be doing this literally all day today. The only time that I'm not going to be doing what I'm doing right now in my other window and building this training is for when I stop for a little bit to finish prepping Unit 6, and then also when I give Unit 6 training. That's going to be the only time I stop doing this all day. So always something with the military. I was trying to go fly jets and they wouldn't work with me because of having glasses. Of course, LASIK surgery didn't come until many years after. Yeah, where's my teeth? And then guys like me, the way my nearsightedness works is there's a lot of pressure on the back of my eyes. So the early LASIK and early surgeries they couldn't do on me because they would, how they actually sliced the retina, there was too much pressure outward on my eyes, so I couldn't do it. I could probably get away with it now or do some of those newer surgery. But one of the things, guys, that I don't like, this was funny when I first got out of the Army. This is 21 years ago. I get out of the Army, and I go to a doctor, and he's like, "Hey, you can do this, but I'm gonna highly recommend if you do the surgery, you give up wrestling and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu." And I said, "We'll see how it goes. I'll keep wearing these glasses." So I wear my glasses still to this day, and I wear my contacts when I wrestle. But, I don't feel like I've lost anything. You know what I'm saying? Like I still get to, and like, because if they told me like, hey, you're gonna lose your eyesight if you do this and you keep wrestling, then I would have had to give up wrestling, obviously. Like, and I interchangeably use the word wrestling and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but mainly because if I don't, people will think Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is just me throwing my hands up in the air and doing hayas like karate, and it's not. It's wrestling. It's grappling, right? Submission grappling, if you really want to get technical. And I do both gi and no gi, so I wrestle either way. But the difference between it and like a freestyle wrestling is that I don't care if you put me on my back. Now it's actually fun. I do catch wrestling where I do care if you put me on my back because I don't want to be pinned, and that's one of my favorite styles of. If I do tournaments, my favorite styles are catch wrestling where you can actually pin a guy instead of submitting him. So just hold him down, because that's embarrassing, right? Getting held down for 3 seconds is embarrassing if you know what you're doing, you know. And the pins are 3-second pins. They're not like a wrestling pin where you just have to roll their shoulders. Because a wrestling pin, if the shoulders are ever flat in freestyle, they're down, you know. Yeah, where's my teeth? It's a good sport, man. It's fun. It's you know, you make a lot of good friends. I find as much camaraderie there as a lot of my time in the military, like with the infantry guys. And by the way, when I was in, infantry was only men. You know, now I think they allow women in, but when I was in, it was all men. The early 90s. All right. So what are we doing? We're for people that got here late, we're just hanging out. I'm not working too hard, but I am working in a different window. So you guys are kind of hanging out and seeing whatever you're doing. Pablo just finished his shift, so he's on weekend duty now, which is probably just hopefully hanging out and chilling. Yeah, and then everybody else here. I think Robodom's here, so Robodom's mostly in charge. He's linking stuff for you guys in the chat. So, yeah. And by the way, I'm reading back a little bit. Yeah, where's my teeth? Yeah, turning it off is definitely a problem. But it's nice. Like, we have a joke in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu circles where it's I choke people so I don't choke people, and that's always been kind of a funny joke to me. But it's also kind of like a nice little reminder about, like, you know, why we train and stuff, you know. So anyways, okay, I'm over here, I'm doing this, and check that there's that. Do not do this lab if you do not have at least 10 gigs of space left. All right. All right, guys, hold on. All right, guys, I'm gonna. Let's see. Yeah, we're almost at 2.5 hours. I'm gonna take a walk and take a quick break. So feel free to, you know, hang out, ask questions, join the Discord. Robodom's letting you guys know about the labs and the Discord and all that good stuff. So you guys are, you know, welcome to do whatever. We're not working too hard today. That's the theme of most of what we do. Nigel Thompson over on the YouTube side, thanks for the subscription. Hopefully this stuff's useful to you. Hopefully you find, you know, something that can help you in your career path. So, all right, I'm gonna take a walk for a bit. I'll be back. Grab some more water bottles. Ready to go. And I am over here copying from one node to another. So, I actually need to use this down here for a second. And I need to go find some of my work. Oh man. There's way too much crap going on in my Notepad++. Let's see if I can find the thing I actually need. No. No. That was some cluster stuff that we were doing. Trying to find the specific. No. Okay. Well, check a few of these different things here. That might help a little. All right. So container copy from one to another. Security engineering questions that I've got down here. All right, that's good enough. So I'm gonna go back over here and then say become root, and then just pick any container that we want to copy. Let's do I'm going to list all the containers so I get one of the more current ones in this other environment. Looks a lot like the listing that I had done here earlier. This one. But in my environment, I have a little bit different view because I can see that one of them. So we'll say copy newest image. And then we'll just say www.ctl container copy, and then whatever that name is the most current. 7 to 10, say 28 STC. 0807. Huh. Oh, 827. Oh, 827. Put in your initials because that's what's important. Insert some horizontal lines. Sending still coming by to give a presentation. Yeah, Robdom, I think he's going to. I might have to cancel week 8 because I'm going to be traveling back that day from Hawaii, and I'm not going to be probably in any condition to actually talk that day. So I probably won't be. I will either have him handle it or we'll just cancel it for that day, and then we'll probably just I don't want to move the schedule out. So what I'll do is I'll still probably record it the next day and have it active, so we're still doing one a week. But then for people that want to cover that material, I'll cover it live the next week. So maybe we'll push 8 and 9 together the week after. But I'll have the material all set up, if that makes sense. Can you verify this exists in the Werewolf and the storage? So I'm going to say modify using Werewolf. So then we're going to wwctl container exec against that container. Excuse me. Yeah, Robedom, I'm not going to feel super productive. By the way, I'm staying an extra night while we're out there. So we're flying out. You know, obviously the company's sending us, and we're going to be in a hotel. But then the hotel room, I'm just going to let it lapse for that last day. And then we're just going to we're going to find something before we get out there, obviously. But we're going to just let it lapse for that last day, and then we'll just have some other spot, either in that same hotel or somewhere else. But we're not going to, obviously, I just want that separate so the company's not, like, I don't want to have to, like, strip out and go, okay, well, the total for us to stay was $2,000, but you guys only have to cover $1,600. That just seems weird to me. You know, I'm not going to do that. Although I do have to do that for the flights because I flew the wife out with me, or I'm flying the wife out with me. So what's she going to do the whole time? She's just going to hang out. And actually, she's in Maine right now, so she wants to, they're doing a food tour right now. And she's like, oh, maybe I'll find a food tour to do out there on the island. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure it'll be a lot of seafood. You know, it's probably actually pretty good, though, if you think about it. There's probably some good stuff going on there, so. All right, modify it. Now I'm gonna say here that the container will save or not save based on the return code of the last command. So practice saving or not saving after an edit like this. Guys, if I stop talking, it tends to be because I'm like in a zone. Exit after touching a file in step. So touch temp some file. Alright. So now I gotta bring all that down. Yeah, Robdom, and she's, you know, while I'm there, like, they only work from 8 to 4, so they're not gonna work super long hours. So when we get done with the day, me and the wife can go out and kind of see. She was like, yeah, maybe there's some food around, and maybe there's some this and this. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine with me. And I checked out. So I'm a government contractor, and because I have a government ID, I get and this is a government project, I get a government rate when I go to hotels. And the going rate for the hotels for that night, I want to say like $355 a night, which isn't terrible, I think, to be out on an island like that. But also, they're standard across the hotels. So I picked the ocean view from where we're going to be, and it doesn't cost any more than if I was on the island view. By the way, the island we're going to be on, the view of the island's super nice looking too. So I'm like, man, this is cool either way. So yeah, Robdon, I tell people all the time, man, like, learn Linux. It'll change. Like, at the risk of sounding corny, it'll change your trajectory in your career, you know, and it may change, you know, the things that you're able to do, and you know, the places you go and the stuff you see or whatever. That's definitely something that I tell people to think about. I think that's true of all engineering, though, but systems engineering and Linux are one that I think are very attainable for people. You don't need a degree to do what I do, but in some places it helps to have a degree. Like by the way, like with my company, it doesn't matter. Like if you ask my boss right now, hey, did you hire Scott because he's got a CISSP? He'd be like, Scott has a CISSP? I didn't even know that. I guarantee you that's what my boss would say. But here's the thing. Does that matter? He actually does know I have it. But does that matter when there's like a government contract that we want to put in for and it requires you have a CISSP on the project? It absolutely matters. Yeah, if a government contract says they must have a CISSP, at least 3 people on your team must have that, and this happens in government contracting, I'm one of the guys that checks that box. Some of you guys that have like RHCEs and stuff like that, I don't have an RHCE, but some of you guys have RHCEs, there are government contracts that you must have 40 RHCEs to run the project. And I actually was on a project like that. I didn't have an RHCE. I don't think I'm ever going to have one of those, but yeah, there was one that you had to have that to be on that project for a company back in the day called CGI. And we were doing a bunch of government Linux, you know, and the government wanted a certain amount of people that some company that will happen to be Red Hat shop had assessed were able to do Linux, you know, in their fashion. So yeah, there's stuff like that. It's big too. You might think, oh, is that really that big? It's big in the cloud space too. Like some of these certs that you can go get, like go pick up some certs and see how much more valuable. Like if you want your company to be able to be an AWS partner, did you guys know that like if you start a little contracting company, you could go and you could sign up as like an AWS partner, and they would kick you over jobs of people that like need help doing whatever. There's a constant stream of people that are like asking and doing all this stuff, and there are Cisco partners that will help with that. But to be on those partner roles, you have to have X amount of associate and professional certs. So like I have one professional cert, I have a specialty cert, and then I have some of the associate certs, right? And those things would all help. So if a company needed that, they would hire me for that. Yeah, Robodom, there's 2 things. There's always the positive differentiators that I talk about. You need to have a positive. You need to be as much better as the competitors as you can to get jobs and such. But then on the other side of it is there are government requirements where you must just check a box. Look, guys, I'm going to agree with you. I don't think having a cert makes you any smarter than anybody else. And I've known guys that have certifications that are absolute fucking dirt balls. They're just idiots. So, does it say dirt balls? Durf, D-U-R-F. I don't know. I can't see what it says. It's too small. But yeah, I know absolute dirt balls. That's the way we used to tell people they were dumb. All right, hold on. So let's go look at this. Werewolf copying and modifying a container. I might revisit this. I'm gonna put Ansible. I'm gonna highlight it for myself so I see it later. Highlight text color, highlight color, yellow. All right. Dirt balls, yeah. Robodom, did you ever hear when I used to... I think I've only ever said it on stream, but me and my buddy Jared, who you know Jared, guy who does data analytics, we used to tell people YAFM. Have you guys been around for the YAFFM or YAAFM type thing? YAAFM? Yeah. Yeah, this one's a little meaner. Yeah, this one is you are a effing moron, right? Yaffam. We used to say that to people, but yeah. That's just a thing because Jared and I have known each other since 7th grade. In case you guys didn't know. And then I'm gonna say clean up the image. I'm going to delete wwctl, delete container, delete compute 10 stc. YAAFM. You are a effing moron. That's what we used to say. YAAFM. Been a while though. We used to do that when we were like in our 20s and we're talking trash and yeah, just messing around. It was back in the drinking time, right? Back when we used to drink a whole lot more. All right, so I got to figure out if I want to show them how to do. I do want to show them how to do all the Ansible stuff, but yeah, I want to show them how to do all the Ansible stuff. But I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm going to come back to the Ansible stuff. Next, I'm going to do checking out the current nodes. You guys see Ranger over there. You guys can see the progress quest playing, right? I'm just I'm up to level 31. Working hard. Working hard on my idle generation of whatever. Robodom, yeah, I appreciate you coming. Have fun over at your birthday party. For everybody else, we're just co-working today, which means that's just another way of saying I'm not working too hard. And I'm fixing some. I'm putting together training in a different window that you guys don't see, and just hanging out. So if you guys have any Linux stuff you want to talk about, any stuff you want to see a little more, we'll do that. Yep. Appreciate you coming by, Robodom. I will see you guys around for people that can't stay. You guys don't have to stay. We're just hanging out. We're not working super hard. And I am building and deleting containers in a different window that you guys are not seeing. And just building training. Werewolf. Mint, that's funny. Sorry, I looked away for a second. I saw that you typed some stuff. I'll look here in a second. Hold on, I want to finish this thought I have in this other window. Alright, Mint. Yeah, the Yapham thing is hilarious to me. Funny how I felt realizing the Proxmox cluster doesn't have storage problems. I just didn't understand how much I'd get slowed down by not setting this BS flag in the DD retesting script from left. Ah, yeah. Yeah, if you set the block size too small or too large. By the way, that's an interesting thing that I didn't bring up in there in Lab 3, but I'll tell you something about that here in a second. Spent 2 weeks thinking I configure ZFS until you read up more on DD. Okay. Hosts and CTs were reading 1 gig from a RAID in 50 seconds. VMs faster. Added the 1024 block, and it's all in milliseconds. Default is 512 bytes. Yeah, so Mint, to that point, when I do read and write speeds to a SAN, I always do medium-sized writes, small writes, and large writes. So let's say, and that's all relative to the block size. So let's say the block size of a SAN that I'm running is 4096K, which is kind of like a 4 meg block. That's kind of common nowadays. That's big because any small file is going to still take up 4 megs though. So like even a text file on there is going to take 4 megs. But this is one of those things. Oh, I got to fix my, hold on, I got to fix this. This has stopped working. How's that? Is that better? Can you guys hear me again? I mean, you could always hear me, but now you can also see what I'm saying. But back to that. So if I know what the sizes are that things are reading and writing in, what I can do is I can pick that as my middle. So that'll be my middle speed, my mid-range speed. It will be exactly the block size of the disk, and I will write like a 5 gig file to my SAN 10 times. So it'll be 50 gigs. It'll be 5 gigs at a time. I'll increment the name each time, so it's always got to go to a new inode, and I will write that in that way, and then I'll do the test again, but I'll do it with a smaller block size than the 4096. So I'll go to like 1024K, and I'll do the same speed and make same test, same exact thing, but I'll do it at a smaller size per block, so it's got to do more blocks, right? Or each write is going to be smaller, and then I'll also do one bigger. So if it's 4096, then I'll at least double it to 8192, or maybe I'll even go up to like 16 something. But then this is 16384, something like that. Anyway, so the point is, I'll do all that, right? And then I'll get my 3 speed tests based on like the block size, smaller and larger, and then I'll save those off. And then we'll do some change, or we'll fix something, or we'll do whatever planning thing that we had as engineers. And then I will go and I will grab all my speeds again, and I will verify that I'm getting the things the same. And I always run, there's an idea called ceteris paribus. It's a economic term, but it means all things being held equal. And it's a technical term for, like, I try to do it when the same jobs are running and the same processes and the same, I'm holding everything else equal in the environment. So I kind of, have to verify that. Like, I don't assume any other variable is affecting it, hopefully. I wouldn't do that when we're doing all the backups or something. That would be a problem. So it's something to think about. All right. Anyway, so I'm over here. I'm doing input to that. Let me go check over here. All right. If you're not going to use it, I'm just going to make in cruxatom root. Let's say home. Do you should add a couple block sizes to the lab to compare them, then the fault was killing me locally. Surprised that doesn't happen on your Rocky containers. Yeah, well, so there's a trick in the Rocky containers. If you're writing it on the local, so if you're writing it on the NFS stuff, that's going to slow down greatly, because it's over NFS, so that would slow down. If you were being if you were doing it just to like the local disk, that's technically in RAM, so it's going to be fast. Can't pull request your labs like your. Oh yeah, that's true, Mint. Yeah, you know what? I'll probably one day turn this into something like that. That would be a fun project for people to turn our Linux systems administration. But here's the thing too, and you probably noticed this: the Linux systems administration has a lot more to do with like the systems admin side of things than the hands-on. Like, I'm trying to, hands-on is like the most important thing I think in the industry, but what I'm trying to show with the group a lot is like the things we need to understand about, like interacting with the business and why people need us Linux engineers and that kind of stuff. Is that thing going over my? Oh, it's not going over it. Okay, good. I thought the window was being. I thought you guys couldn't see all my text to speech, but it looks like you guys can. All right. So I'm still over here working in this other environment. I'm gonna make this again here, and I'm gonna remake a container from 027. Look at Ranger over there. It's 64 in Phoenix right now. It's nice and cool. We got some rain in town. It's only supposed to get to like 72 today, which is wild because it was so hot the other day. Let's just make their labs, CD labs, and then touch hosts, and then VI hosts, and in there we're just going to do CH roots, and then my full path. Okay. Var lib werewolf CH roots. Alright, I'm gonna add my Ansible part. I was gonna wait, but I'm just being active today, I guess. I only have 4 more hours to the course later, so that'll be at 3 p.m. my time. So you guys got a little bit of time to get ready if anybody's hanging out for that. You guys are welcome down in Discord. I think people were studying down in Discord earlier. Let's see what we got going on down there. I only see one person in there right now. I don't think they're studying just yet. But message requests. Nice. You guys are doing it looks like some people are doing some Killer Coda stuff. Guys, you don't have to pay anything on Killer Coda. You can do everything on there for free. So just make sure you guys know that if you go do Killer Coda. And I don't get anything if you do sign up for it. It's a free site for me as well, and I just build labs for it. I don't get paid anything with Killer Coda. So I just want you guys to know, like, go there, do as much as you can free on there, and get all the value out of it. Don't think like, hey, I gotta buy something or whatever to kick it. You guys don't. You guys can just hang out. All right, sorry, I'm building so pick. So I'm just going to say make a file called hosts and populate it for Ansible. Make a file called hosts and populate it for Ansible chroot environment. And this is going to be VI hosts. Make a host. VI hosts. Let's just make a host directory or a host file, and then my cat, my hosts. Populate it. run that. Ansible hosts against host dash capital C, and then we'll just do dash M. Copy, and then hosts so source equal to hosts, test is equal to temp hosts. I don't know. Now I gotta go check a freaking check Confluence. Whoops, that's no good. Dash C, oh, dash C, okay, that's my bad. Dash lowercase c, dash ch root, okay. All right, so one of the things I'm doing in this training is showing people how to do things, but I'm not like teaching them all of Ansible. You know, I couldn't, even if I wanted to. STC varlib. Oh, now I gotta go find where this thing is. Oh, I gotta give the whole name and then tempfs and then root. Okay. So, got that going, so, let's see, okay. Got that. Run. Hey Monkey Man, how's it going? Yeah, it is a Merry Linux Saturday. I'm trying to hit just this last little bit of this lab, and then when I'm done with this part of the lab, I'm gonna jump over to my normal screen so you guys can actually see. And you know, maybe I'll move this thing out of the way. Yeah, give me 1 second here. Before I do that, I'll turn myself on, and we got to build all the stuff for this week's course. You know, I'm a little bit behind on some of it, but we're getting there. So to run a simple plans to write into that directory, or to write into that server, and that, space too so they can see it. Oh, I did not want to do that. Where am I at here? Way down here now. Okay. Insert horizontal lines. I'm going to give this team the optional, so I'm showing them how to run Ansible in this playbook environment that I have, but then I'm going to give them, yeah, Monkey Man, Fisherman made that for me last night, because I keep saying, we're not working too hard over here, so that's kind of like my little chill penguin guy now, and I'll hop on, you guys will see me on stream here in a little bit, when I'm actually working on stuff, getting ready for this other thing, but I'm really happy with the way this lab has kind of turned out now. You may exec into the server and verify that the temp host file now exists, right? And then that would be the same command from earlier, which is this wwctl container exec. Control C, Control V, all right, and then all right, it's cool. Does it have a name? Is it also coincident? Yeah, it could be coincidentally Scott or Tux. Tux modified Comfy Tux. Comfy Tux might work well. And that's just TUX, right? But yeah, he made a whole bunch of them, Monkey Man. If you go check in the Discord on the AI channel, he was making a whole bunch of them last night, and some of them it looks like he's eating the remote, or he's got some kind of crackers and chips all over him. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to look like I'm all sloppy here. Like that's not the goal. So, I think this lab is looking really good that I just finished. So, keeping track of kind of how far I'm getting, and I'll be working more on this, but now I'm up to 21 pages of the lab book. I think this lab book is going to be really good when I'm done with it for these customers, and we're going to use it on a few other customers as well, so that'll be super useful. Copy and or modify containers. Next thing we'll do, we'll check out current nodes, and then we'll keep going with the info and the different things. So yeah, let me what are we at? We're a little over 3 hours. I'm gonna walk around a little bit. I'm gonna move this stuff down and out of the way, and then I'll jump us back to our normal view that we normally use, and we will work on, you know what, actually I'll leave that up, and we'll get ready to start working on this other stuff. So yeah, let's take a quick little break. I'm gonna put my break thing up here. All right, take a break, walk around. I will. I'll come back and we'll get some regular stuff going here. Stuff people are more used to when they're hanging out with me. All right. retooling the office. We're moving the office around, guys. We're going back to a view that you guys can actually see here. All right. Let's go to, get rid of that. Still on break. Feel free to hang out and do whatever. Let me go find my regular streaming default. Streaming default, and then I gotta fix one little thing in my video. I just need to hide a filter. Or make the filter not be seen. There we go. All right. I think that should be good. There we go. Do all the Linux, right? We're back to doing all the Linux. So I have a lot of actual like cleanup work to do and stuff. So now I'm going to be doing some setting up this course. So let's go find go to unit 5. Go back here. We got to make a unit 6. So I thought there was just a new unit 6. Don't worry, I have a lot of the stuff already made. Unit 5, we're gonna copy the worksheet and the paper. Actually, we'll copy that as well. Boom. Come back over here. Unit 6. Boom. So we're in 6, so we got to go find my old. We're gonna start with this. Move it over here. Lots of stuff to do, guys. Why is that? Oh, that's because I got space in the name. Like, what the hell? Why is the? Should jump down there. Yeah, good. Drop that in. Name this. Nope, get out of here. It's already too much of a problem. Unit 5 is going to be Unit 6. And I get that out of the way. And 6. Oops. That's also going to get renamed. Get that out of the way. 6. 6. 6. All right. And it's going to be prologue, worksheet, and whoa, hold on a second. That's a text one, okay. And then the firewall D is going to be unit 6. Firewall D. Okay, yeah, that's fine. The names are fine. Perfect. All right, now I'm going to go clean them up. So this is what I do before, but I'm just letting you guys see it because I figure whatever, you know, if anybody's around that wants to do the group in a little bit, this is how I get ready for each week. So one thing to note as well that needs to kind of be shown is we always have the syllabus, and the syllabus right here, and this is what we work on. So we're doing unit 6, which is going to be firewall and uncomplicated firewall, but maybe just firewall. We'll see how much time we have here. 19th of October, which is now. Okay, so these are the other ones that we've done. Did Linux lab access, essential tools, storage, operating, running systems, and then we did users and groups for last week, right? Then this week we're going to do firewall D and kind of protecting the system a little bit, so that'll be good. Maybe we'll do a little bit of hardening. Actually, I think hardening will be week 13, so we'll focus on that then. We'll just talk about the technical stuff of the firewall now. So let's go back to unit 6. We need to go into unit 5 and grab this one thing here. So on the worksheet, oh, we don't have it there. Let's grab it from the groups. Grab this guy. We need him because now we got to go and grab this. So let's go grab my leak 6. We're going to go in here to the firewall, and we're going change this to Prolog. Don't worry, I wrote all this. And I actually did it originally for my group. Don't worry about that. I did write all this, but Prolog. And we're not using, super annoying, get out of there. We're using Rocky. Machine. Okay. Rocky 9. All this stuff. So what I need to do then is I need to we'll talk about that. We'll talk about no hop environment. There's a screen file that you can use. Oh, so apparently I had some screen stuff before we got into the lab. I need to play with Firewall. I need to make sure that you guys have access to a firewall. So let's go over here. I'll just jump into the lab somewhere, right? Let's see. Do we not have Firewall D? No, we do not. Okay, so how do I fix the lab? Do you guys know, you guys that have been around, do you guys know how? I could go put this on the stateless node, but that's not going to help us any, right? We got to back out, and now we got to do something that I was just doing in my training over here, where I need to go exec, and I need to jump down into the Rocky 9 lab, and I have to install Werewolf, right? So, Firewall D. So, DNF install Firewall D, and this is going to install to the container image, and then it'll be cleaned up. So we're going to let this install to the container image, and then we're going to have to push it to all the nodes. So now we're going to have to let everybody know that there's maintenance, right? Like we normally do early, and then we'll say, hey, there's maintenance on all these nodes, and then we'll kick everybody by rebooting the machines, and then they'll come up clean. What we do want to make sure, though, is make sure that they are still able to be connected into from the outside. That's a big deal. You don't want to turn on the firewall and not have port 22 open, which we should. All right, so it's total install size of 10 megs. We can afford that, so we'll put that on the system. You'll notice there was a lot of Python on the back end, and one of them was NF tables, and that's because NF tables is the basis of Firewall D, right? All right, so now if I'm ready to commit this, when I exit, this is going to rebuild that container for me. That's how Werewolf works. You update the container image, then the container image is going to be grabbed by all the nodes when they reboot. Containers only change on boot. Okay, that's an important thing to know. Oh, you know what? I should normally when I do that. Well, it's coming out of the environment, so I don't have it. But a lot of times when I'll do commands, I'll always wrap them with a time. But this is an exit, and I'm leaving the environment, so I can't really time it. But it is important if you're going to give this like a junior engineer, right, or a junior admin, or your help desk, or whoever's going to run your commands. I don't think anybody should be messing with your back-end images, to be clear. But let's say they're a junior engineer and they're trusted with that, and then you're giving them the steps. A lot of times I'll just help them out and be like, hey, this is going to take a couple minutes, and I'll put that in my directions. If things I know for build or run times or different stuff like that are going to take a long time, I will try to quantify that with, it's going to be under 3 minutes, it's going to be 3 to 10 minutes, it's going to be 15 to 30 minutes, so go have lunch or whatever, right? These are the kind of things that I try to put into my not even my training, my run docs. Because if somebody has to modify this, I want them to be able to do it. All right, so let's go here. Let's go to our Ansible, and we need to echo. We're going to echo system going down for maintenance to wall on all systems. Oh, to wall. So yeah, echo system going down for maintenance. So now we're going to send that to all of our systems inside of Ansible. So this is going to hit all of the Rocky boxes. So if anybody's on the Rocky boxes right now, it's going to tell them systems going down for maintenance. Rocky 1 and 2 are down. All the other nodes, we got them all working yesterday, but we'll go get 1 and 2 back working again too while we're working on this. But fun fact, as they go back to working, they're going to pull their new images, so that's also good too. Let's get rid of that. Rocky 1 and 2 are hard down. So somebody did a shutdown-H on them, so we'll just start them. We'll start them. And then now this one, I'm going to run this same thing, but then I'm going to do a... we're going to go like this. We're going to say fan out to all of them, and we're going to do the module reboot. And then we're going to exclude Rocky 1 and Rocky 2. Right? So we can do that on the command line as well. I think that's the way to do it. So now I'm going to hit all my... is that not right? Maybe I can't do exclude. I know I can do it. Oh, let's try this. Let's do this different. Let's say limit, and then not Rocky 1 and not Rocky 2. I think that, no, that's not going to work. All right, screw it. We'll just reboot them all. It's going to miss those two because they're not up yet anyways, so whatever. I don't care. I don't care. 1 and 2 wasn't going to get anyways, so. Now, currently, all nodes in my cluster are rebooting. I could go watch that if I wanted. Wait, right here. I can go see any of these nodes rebooting. You didn't see me touch him aside from that command over there, but he's now in a reboot, as is Rocky 4. All these nodes are rebooting. And if we wanted to, we could be watching at Werewolf for it to pull all of them. All of them are pulling at the same time over a slightly slower, well, not really super slow, but a network connection. So there's going to be a little bit of time for these things to come back up. This one might already be in its booting. Yep. So we're going to give those systems here. They're all rebooting. We will give them, don't worry, they're all rebooting. And we're going to give them time. Before we give them uptime, we're going to say sleep 300. So we're going to give the system 5 minutes. This is 5 minutes right here of time. 5 minutes from right here. And now I'm going to go do other things while that's going. All right. So I'm looking at all this. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Set firewall if config. This will just be Rocky. Right. For this one, for that environment. See all the services, go look at the services, modify the services, add services. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, these are all good. Remove the services. Okay, I think that lab is going to be good enough. So that's a good lab. I already had the lab built. I just had to modify it to be for this. So we'll leave that running over there. And now we got to go open up. We got to open the worksheet, and the worksheet's going to be called 6 now, and it's going to say don't send me stuff just yet, but send me stuff later. We're going to have to fix these review questions and terminology, and then all this stuff as well, right? So, but this I can fix now. Unit 6, and this will be firewalls. So firewalls will be this week. And map the, we don't need to map the internal network anymore. That was last week's assignment, but people are probably still working on it. Get that stuff going, dig deeper. I'm gonna make sure I get this. I wonder if there's a good, let's go see if there's a good Rocky, so Rocky Linux firewall. So Rocky has really good documentation. I want to see if Rocky, here we go. Yeah. Accept whatever, I don't care. Enabling the firewall. Seeing the active rules. How to allow a service through. How to install a GUI if you want to use a GUI. Modifying the firewall offline. That might not be as good. Let's see if there's a from their docs. Because their docs are really good. That's probably a decent introduction, but yeah, I really like the there's nothing I've jumped down into as far as like Rocky documentation that I didn't think was good. I never found one. Oh yeah, this is great. I think this will be a good read for digging deeper. All right, yeah, that's going to be our digging deeper. Read this, and then I'm just going to say, what new things did you learn that you didn't learn in the lab? What functionality of Firewall D are you likely to use in your, like, if you're in professional work, what are you doing? If you're not in professional work, you know, what do you think you would do? Reflection question. I don't want to leave these out again this week. So what do you still have questions about this week? And then how does security as a system administrator differ from what you expected? I was gonna say, do we not say hacker man often enough? Do we not wear hoodies often enough? Like are the people that actually know what they're doing not like the cool kids and stuff? They're just the dudes that are out there building shit. So, you know, those are, because everybody thinks it's all going to be hacker man and going to DEF CON and stuff, and it's like that's not even a big part. In fact, that's a small, very small part of it. So anyways, all right. I'm going to come back to the discussion questions. I'm going to fix these, but I'm going to go fix them in here as well as I do it. So, ooh, we don't have the PowerPoint open. Let's go open the PowerPoint up. Let's get week 6 going. So this is, we're named 6 now, so we're going to name this 6 over here. Boom, I'm a real person, so I don't care if you guys know who I am. Although, it is funny, when I show my name online, I always get hit up a whole bunch on LinkedIn. Guys, I don't really use LinkedIn. I could tell you a funny story how I got into LinkedIn. I started using that thing because my college, so to help my college students do networking early on, like with ITT Tech and stuff. So I thought LinkedIn was fine. I was like, oh yeah, I'll just have a LinkedIn or whatever. But I don't really do much with it. And like when I get like alerts and they're like, your thing about Prolog has hit 5,000 impressions, and I'm like, I don't like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't care. I don't give a shit. It's the same thing with like Twitch. Twitch. I don't care that much about Twitch, but it's the same thing with like Twitter or X. Like I don't like let people know every time I go live or whatever. We let people know in Discord. That's our little community. I'm not really like trying to be like some what do they call themselves, content creators or something like that. We're over 200 by the way here. We're at 202 people. We're over 3,000 in Discord, but we're at over 200 that are coming to this. Now we got to flip these. So watch, I flip them like this, and I just say last week. So now this is last week's thing. Last week. And you know, I really need to, let's try to do this a little smarter here. I think that's easier to read down here than where it was, so we'll do that. And then now this week, we need to, so this week, when I put things here, they're always a shortened version of what the other talk is. By the way, did my chat break or something? Like, I haven't seen anybody talk in chat for 15 minutes now. It's kind of strange. I mean, I'm not telling you guys you have to talk or whatever. I'm just saying it's weird that, like, Monkey Man talked, and then I haven't seen anybody from either side. It's very strange that, like, nobody said anything for... I mean, at least somebody tell me, like, you know, you don't know what you're talking about or something. But, yeah, Razushi, thanks for being here. Fix it. I didn't mean to make everybody start talking right away. I'm just saying, like, it was, you know, I thought it was weird. I'm like, nobody's even, like, whatever. Yeah, Monkey Man, you're still here. Good. Yeah, all we're doing is kind of prepping the stuff for this week, for the discussion, which is in 3.5 hours. So I'll probably do this a little longer, and then I'll hop off stream and just relax for a little bit and chill. Probably clean this up a little more, and get it like ready. I'll post the stuff. I got to post the stuff down in chat. For people that have been keeping up with the group, make sure you go and spend some time and catch yourselves up if you haven't finished it. But if this is your first time hearing about the group, we're going into week 6. So you still, I mean, it would be hard, but you'd have time to catch up. I'm trying to give between about 6 and 8 hours worth of work a week for people that want to, you know, look, if all you do all day is break rocks and you're like, Scott, I want to get into some other thing, this is what I'm trying to help people with. I'm selling hard work here, and it's free. It's free. I'm not charging you anything, but it's definitely not going to be easy to do these things, right? That's what I was saying earlier, is like a lot of this stuff I'm selling you hard work. Like you have to want to do this stuff and get better and all that stuff. So all right, let's keep going. Topics of discussion for this week is going to be firewalls. And then last week, so we always have the thing that goes with the lab. If you guys haven't noticed this pattern yet, we have the thing that goes with the lab. So firewalls, I'm going to talk some firewall stuff, and I'm going to give some information about that. But then I always have some other thing that's security related, but it's not directly, it's just something like a sysadmin I think needs to know. So let's do another one here. So what I do, though, by the way, is I don't just pull them out of thin air. I have them related back to this in some way, right? So what would be good, as we're doing firewalls and focusing on firewalls, is maybe we could harden things, we could scan things. But scanning and hardening is kind of down here. Oh, by the way, let's make sure our systems are back up. I'm gonna ruminate about this a little bit. Yeah, don't worry about that other one. I can't show you that other stuff. They're all down. All right, that's not good, but that's fine because they're probably coming back up slowly. So I'm going to give them another 5 minutes to all come back up. They'll probably be up by that time. We're pulling a lot of data from those servers. In fact, if we wanted to for fun, we could come here, watch this, and we could say, what is our bottleneck? What do we think is our bottleneck on the system? We're in one server, XCP-NG Big New. Somebody was commenting on that name yesterday, which is kind of funny. Let's see where he is hitting his highest utilization. Is it on his, so in his performance, is it on his CPUs? How's it going, Leserbiska? Looks like it was massively a little while ago, stopped at 1126, so maybe that's all done now. But look, his CPU was really spiking high. His memory is not, that's not super high. Network performance, almost nothing, so network didn't really care. Let's look at this window. We'll look at this window here. We had higher networking, but that wasn't much. Performance that, yeah, I think the big elephant in the room here was we spiked really high into the mid 80s as an average on CPU performance. So actually, you know, we're gonna stop this. I think it's all done. So let's just go here and see if all the servers are back up. We'll just run it without time. Where's my teeth? You're welcome to lurk. And I feel bad if I told anybody, like, if anybody thought like, oh, I have to come back or Scott's gonna like quit streaming. No, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I was just saying, I look over and people talk, right, and that's fine. You know, people talk. That's what happens. But then if I don't see anybody talk, I'm like, this fishbowl is real quiet. Because, you know, when you're sitting here, you're kind of like in a fishbowl, like everybody's just watching you, and you're like, do I have something on it, you know, something on my face? What's going on here? All right, by the way, all the nodes are back up. So anybody that was doing work in the nodes now has all the nodes back up and working. So I lurk a lot of channels. Nice. Make sure you keep the sound on at least one, because my brother found out. My brother was doing some testing years back, and Twitch, you can be in a back tab, but you do have to have sound over 0. If sound is at 0, he found that it doesn't actually count you in the channel, which I thought was interesting. He keeps it real low. Yeah, Monkey Man. Yeah, if you're here, just, you know, let me know you're breathing, right? That kind of stuff. No, you guys don't have to. It's just that was a long lull for me. Like, I'm not used to people, you know, going completely quiet in here. Normally, they're at least yelling at me or something. Maybe you guys are so shocked because, I mean, was I on camera yesterday? I was on camera for a little bit yesterday. I wasn't on camera all week. I was literally just working with my head down the whole time. And then I was using this monitor. This is my big monitor over here that you guys are looking at. And I have those other scenes set up so that I can work on the monitor while you guys are looking at other stuff, right? Like the stuff that it's in different screens like this, but it's over, you know, I can present it in a different way. Let me move this back over here. So, oh, now it's all tiny. That's actually funny that it didn't resize the window. All right. So you guys that don't know, I'm kind of, I'm now gonna try to get my guy on Progress Quest to like a really high level. Huh. He's already at level 32, so we're gonna let him just hang out there. See how high a level he can get. I've been doing max volume, but mute the tab, from which I've been told allows the viewers to count. That's awesome. That's awesome. I didn't know that. I'll tell my brother that. That's actually cool. If you can just mute the tab, but the system sees you as being there, that's good. Leslie basically got to gather information about the next week's topic while working on my new project with Java backend. I had experience with Java backends 3 to 4 years ago. Got to catch up. Nice. Yeah, Leslie, I've never done anything professional with Java. I had a really good Java instructor in college, but like even that couldn't push me towards being like a programmer. Like I was just like, you know. And when I say really good, people are like, everybody thinks their college professor was really good. My college professor wrote a book that was used in like 150 colleges, so I think he was probably pretty good. I couldn't tell you his name. I have his book. I can go. This is a fun fact about me, and I can post it in the Discord if you guys want. Do you guys know I have every book that I've ever taught out of or had a class out of in college? I have every book. In fact, I have most books I've ever owned, unless I gave them away to somebody. But my college teaching and my college being taught, I have every book I've ever owned. And that's just because I'm kind of insane. As a multifaceted engineer, do you have to time tune your Microsoft OS and Linux OSs for security and tracking, or do you not waste time these days? Where's my teeth? I spend a fair amount of time tuning Linux OSs. I don't do a lot of tuning with Microsoft, but I try to follow like best practices. Like I'm not root on my Windows box here. I'm not the admin user. I have to sudo up or become admin, and that blocks 99% of problems online because they're attacking a user that doesn't have any permissions anyways. So yeah, Leserbiska, and then the only professional, like if somebody were to like press me for like any coding I had done professionally, I'd say, well, obviously I've done a fair amount of Bash and Ansible, but nobody really counts those. But I have professionally coded some JavaScript for a very specific type of backend called VRO, and that's it. But I mean, that was something I professionally did. But I mean, I tell you guys all the time, I'm not a programmer. I won't call myself a programmer on here or a software engineer. That's not what I do. But I can show you guys engineering in general, because engineering is a universal thing. Kind of like I was saying earlier, my buddy Reed that comes in and talks to you guys sometimes, and he well, his name's Robbie, but he goes by Reed. Well, those are two of his names, so he goes by both of them. But anyways, the point is he had this little thing that said specialization was for insects, right? It had like 50 programming languages that he could do, and he said a coder should be able to program in any language. And then it said specializations for insects, and I've seen that in like 10 different contexts over the years, but I thought his was a pretty good one. So, okay, and that was many years ago. I saw that on his desk. All right, so all that stuff's good. We're here on the firewall stuff. I'll leave UFW on there. Here's the option I'll give people that want to use the uncomplicated firewall instead of Firewall D. I'll just give them the option to go do the, we have a presentation or a lab out in systems. So let me actually pull that back up and fix that real quick. So Unit 6, we got to fix our definitions and our terminology here. Let's get this out of the way. Loads, terms. Assignment to lab if you have no alternate assignment to lab if you have no Rocky access. Let's just say Rocky. You can go to here. This is the one we pulled up earlier, that Firewall D thing. But you can come here and you can do this lab, which would be the uncomplicated firewall. Yep. That'll be an alternate lab. Okay. There we go. All right, we're not mapping the network again, so let's pull that off of here. Also, I wonder how people are doing on mapping the network. I had a couple of people ask me about it and work on it, but I wasn't sure what you guys had found. I mean, the best file CLL is available for C. Yeah, UFW is uncomplicated. It's pretty straightforward. Just put an S here because I'll come back to this. All right, we got the firewall stuff. We got reflection questions. That's good. I missed that last week. I forgot to come back and check on it. You guys will notice I kind of jump around a lot. I call that riding the lightning, man. Like I think I told you guys I went a few years back, and I was in a psychiatrist's office for some old army stuff, and he was like, "Hey, have you ever been diagnosed with ADHD?" And I go, "No." I think I was like 38 at the time, and I was like, "No." And he goes, "Do you want me to diagnose you with it?" And I'm like, "You don't have to." I said, "I'm probably." And he goes, no, you definitely have it. I've talked to you for like 30 minutes, and you definitely have ADHD. And I'm like, oh well. I said, I guess for me, I just always kind of lived with it, Like I don't need like I don't need it to be diagnosed or whatever. And he's like, all right, well, if you ever want the diagnosis for anything, I'm like, all right, whatever. So I do know that I jump around a lot, but I tell people, like, as an engineer, like I just call it riding the lightning. Like I go wherever and I get stuff done. And I've told you guys often, like, if you watched me throughout the day when I'm doing stuff, you'd be like, I don't know how this guy does stuff. I don't know how he gets stuff done. But then at the end, it's like all my stuff's done, and I'm like, oh, I did bake this cake. I did make this thing work. There's a bit of like control to the madness, but for the most part, it's just me working on whatever's next, right? All right, so that's our plan. So we're doing that. Yeah, look at this, man. We're almost done, guys. We're halfway. And then we just have to hit these last ones. But this week, right here, I will probably end up having to move this one, unfortunately. Scripting system checks, and not because we might just still have sending come in if I can get them to come in still. I might just still get them to come in. I mean, you're talking about mapping the network. I assume mapping your protocols back. Yeah, where's my teeth? It was in the talk last week, so. I had kind of explained it to them, like do an nmap or some other tool. You could use NC, You could walk a system with NC and some programming tools, but that's not as easy as just using Nmap, right? So I think I sent them off to do some Nmap stuff. So yeah, Monkey Man. The reason I brought that up wasn't you guys won't hear me sit around and say like, oh, I have ADHD or whatever. But I just wanted to make sure that anybody knew, like, if I ever do tell you I have ADHD, it's because I do. But you don't hear me doing that because I don't like make excuses like that. I'm just saying, like, you know, for what it's worth, for what that diagnosis of a thing is, I technically have it. So, but I don't sit around and think about it. It's like a lot of things. Like, I don't sit around and think about the war. And I know guys who they sit around and just think about the war all the time, and it's like, I mean, I don't think that's great. You know, I don't think that. I mean, I'm not a psychiatrist and I'm not a psychologist, but sitting around and drinking every night and doing that probably isn't the best thing for you, you know. So, anyways, whatever. I mean, I'm not gonna tell people what to do with their time. I'm just gonna tell you what I do with my time. That's a big part of like doing the Linux engineering group, is like it gives me something to focus on, and it keeps me directed. Because I will just sit around and blob out if I don't have something to do. So, but this has been keeping me kind of focused. So, all right, what we do need to do, we need to find somebody to raid. Wait, Nmap is nice. Who doesn't like Wireshark data collection to get into the weeds? Yeah, where's my teeth? I don't know. Like, I've never run Wireshark on a set of Linux boxes. I mean, I run Wireshark, you know, on the Windows here after I bring stuff back. But they're doing great. So it's technically, I guess I can pull up the lab from last week. It's a gray box. It was a gray box test. So they didn't know everything in the network, and they didn't know all the things. They just had the ranges. And I did kind of tell them some of the machines, but I didn't give them full access to them, so they had to scan them. And actually, it's funny, a fair amount of what I did see missed. I had MySQL running. I had MariaDB running on one of the boxes. So I had a SQL daemon running on 3306, and I didn't see that I don't think I saw that in anybody's presentations that came in for what people happened. Fix it 42. We're running a Linux systems administration course for people that want to get into like systems administration. It's down in our Discord. Let me close this pop out and bring this back and go Discord. So for people that want to see the Discord and hang out in there it is on the Twitch side. I know not everybody's seen that. And I'm going to drop it on the YouTube side, but I'm going to send it to both. I don't care. But that link is should be valid for you. You guys can get in there. And then if you go down to Prolog Projects, so let me pull this up here. Don't worry about what's going on in the Discord. It's so funny to me. We're the professional Linux users group, but I feel like that professional is in a pretty strong air quote. So down here on Prolog Projects, I always put, like, I'll put the Unit 6 stuff here. And then what I'll do is I'll also put the discussion posts here. So here's the discussion post for last week. And you got to do one discussion post each week to answer the questions. And then you got to do one discussion post responding to somebody. We've basically had most people quit. We're down to 12 messages and 17 messages for last week. So I mean, that's only at most six people still participating. So that's not great. But anyways, here's all the old stuff. So if you wanted to see that, yeah. So it's in the Prolog Projects, and then there's a beginner start here section that just gives you guys a bunch of extra stuff. And right here, this is where the playlists are. So when I record them each week, which we're not recording this for it, we're recording this because YouTube records everything, but tomorrow I will record a Unit 6 named thing. Let's go see what this, I don't even know what this looks like, but it should be like this. Yeah, here's our 16-week Linux Systems Administration course. And yeah, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know why I stopped calling it free in Discord. I should probably modify those names so it says free in Discord still. Could get my names all the same. So yeah. So there we go. That's it right there. So that's a playlist. There's other playlists out there and things you guys can do. But the goal of this group, look, we've got labs where you can just go and be as technical as possible. But the Linux Systems Administration is kind of designed to show you what you're doing and how you're interacting and what the job of being a systems administrator is. You're taking this mantle. They're like putting this, like a robe on you and a little crown and telling you, hey, you're the steward of Gondor. You're gonna run Gondor until the king comes back in 1,000 years. And you're like, me and my family for all the lines, because that's what the stewards of Gondor did, right? They guarded. That's what a steward does. He does things on behalf of somebody else, right? He's kind of like a proxy, but a steward keeps things as a steward until the person who owns them or is really in charge of them comes back, and then they give their permissions back. Well, as a systems administrator, you take stewardship and ownership of systems, and your number one job is to keep those systems up at all times. And that's what the group is about. The training, the Linux Systems Administration is about. And I said it in the first week, I should probably reemphasize it this week. Everything we do is all about systems uptime. Yeah, fix it. I was just saying, go in the Discord and go to Prolog Projects, and you'll find everything in there. How do we get into Gondor? I'm not going to tell you how to get into Gondor. Gondor needs to be protected. I'm just kidding. If you guys missed the last 30 seconds, all I was saying was go and get in there and participate if you want. Also, one other thing about Discord is you can always go up here to the top left of Discord, even it's at the top in the online, and you can see we're up to 202 people that say they're interested in the course, and then we're having a meeting in about 3 hours. So I'm probably gonna hop alpha here in a few minutes and then hang out, and then I'll be down in there in the Prolog conferences and guest speakers. There's a stage where we'll be in there. So yeah, you guys are welcome. Look, even if people just come and hang out, you can come and hang out. It's just I give you I would estimate about 8 hours worth of work to study and practice, and people have been forming study groups, and the study groups have been meeting. In fact, there's a good amount of people. There's nobody in there now, but people have been down in the study groups studying and stuff. If you guys see somebody down in there, you're welcome to go jump down in there. The only place I wouldn't jump in is if somebody's in a one-on-one, because one-on-one tends to be like somebody already knows they're going to be in there, and this is limited to only 2 people, right? But yeah, you've got all these places you can go, and there's nowhere in our server that's off limits for people, right? Nowhere that you can see is off limits to you, right? That's how permissions work in servers. All right. So anyways, I'm gonna hop off of here. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. Let's say the other topic of our discussion this week will be, we'll get to it. Oh yeah, and then we did like how do you scan and enumerate systems, and the labs for this. I'll update the lab to this week. This will be Firewall deconfigurations, and then maybe we'll have some other lower stuff under that. Need to add myself to this for sure. Add it to my current university workload. Yeah, where's my teeth? Look, if you're in university and you're probably younger than me, look, man, I remember my 20s. I could burn the candle at both ends in my 20s. So feel free to find it and learn stuff now. Yeah, you're always welcome to hang out if you got to go. I'm probably gonna go raid. Let's go find somebody to raid over on the Twitch side here. YouTube side, unfortunately, I can't help you out with any of that raiding stuff, but we'll go over here and see what's kind of going on. See who we can raid. Who's doing stuff? Who am I following that is online? Rob's on. The Alt F4 Practical's on. I like Practical. Admiral Baru's on. Rossberger's on. Amarok's on. Let's go over to the person that's probably doing stuff closest to us, which is probably, let's go hit up Rob. Rob's doing stuff. He's doing Go Bonsai Command Compositor. So we'll go raid over to Rob, give Rob some extra viewers. Our special raid command is what do we always do for our raids? It's do all the Linux, right? So if you have any of those emotes, use those. And I appreciate you guys coming by. I will see some of you in about 3 hours.